3 goals. You get McCann going on the clock, sweet pass, and Thompson. And Beniers crashing the net. It's a greasy goal right out in front. And Jones making the timely saves when you need them. But look at the defensive play. The effort of this team is something you can never put into question. And you have to like standing up for your team. What's going on, everybody? John out here with you. It's a Tuesday night, about 7 p.m. Eastern, January 10th, 2023. How's everybody doing out there today? After, like I said, the COVID stuff's all done. Now might be a cold up from the fiance. So I'm going to try to do my best to get through all this stuff. I got the Kraken debut jersey and Matty Beniers, thanks to Cooper Hopkins. His check is in the mail, and he should be getting it any day now. So let's start with the Seattle Kraken depth chart. It sounds like this. Matty Beniers, Andre Burakovsky with Jordan Eberle, it's Vince Dunn, and Adam Larson. Alex Wemberg, Jaden Shorts, Jared McCann, Jamie Alexiak, and Justin Schultz. So you can think of that second line as the J line alongside Alex Wemberg. Yanni Gord, Eli Tolvanen, Oliver Bjorkstrand with Carson Soucy and Will Borgen. It's Morgan Geeky, Turbo, Brandon Tanev, Turbo Time with Daniel Sprong on the fourth line sides. And Philipp Grubauer should be getting the start in that off the back-to-back. Both these teams coming off the back-to-back. It was a 4-0 win for the Seattle Kraken and a 4-0 loss for the Buffalo Sabres over the Philadelphia Flyers. The Kraken beat the Montreal Canadiens the other day. Buffalo Sabres, it sounds like this. They're 20-16-2. Tage Thompson, Jeff Skinner, Alex Tuch. Tage Thompson's the lone all-star. Matty Beniers is the lone all-star. Matthias Samuelsson and Rasmus Dahlin. Dylan Cozens, Rasmus Asplund, Vinny Hinostroza, Owen Power, Kel Clegg, Peyton Krebs, Zemgus Girgensons, Kyle Okposo, with Henry Yukiarvi and Ilya Lyubushkin. So Henry Yokiharu and Ilya Lyubushkin, and then Tyson Yost, Casey Middlestat, and Victor Olofsson. Eric Comrie is probably getting the start in that for the Buffalo Sabres, and I only say that because Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has been loaned to AHL Rochester, I believe, and the reason why he was sent down is because he's still in the AHL two-way stint where you don't have to give up a forward or a defenseman off a wave to bring him down. So Eric Comrie hasn't started in about 15, 20 games, something like that. So I'm assuming he's going to get the start because the Hamburglar, Craig Anderson, played yesterday. And Martin Jones played yesterday for the Kraken. So I believe it's going to be Philipp Grubauer and Eric Comrie. But if it is Pekka Luukkonen, then we'll find out when we get into game time. The Seattle Kraken are 23-12-4. The one thing to note of Seattle before we get into our puck drop, and I'll turn the recorder back on when we get to it. They're 10-8-2 at Climate Pledge, but away from Climate Pledge, they're 13-4-2. They're one of the strongest teams in the NHL in their second season. And for the Buffalo Sabres, they're 9-9-2 at KeyBank Center, where we are tonight at Buffalo, and they are 11-7 on the road. Tage Thompson is a serious talent, the 25-year-old, 31 goals, 25 assists, 56 points, and a plus 13. The interesting part there in between the Kraken side, between comparisons, is Matty Beniers, the lone all-star, 20 years old. He's got 15 goals, 17 assists, 32 points. And Tage Thompson nearly has that amount of points and amount of goals. So the Seattle Kraken get it done by committee, just like the Calgary Flames do in the Pacific. So when we get back into game time, we'll get into the puck drop, and we'll call this one because I've never covered Seattle and Buffalo just yet. I'm pretty excited. Stay tuned.
When you stay in a home, you always get the whole home. Because is it really a vacation home if you have to share the house with others? Only with Virgo.
I want to employ that at the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to carry 80,000 fans to victory. Yeah, that's amazing.
Home is where you start the day. Out the door, you're on your way. All places on the road. Maybe you should take it slow. There's so much to get in your life. That's why nationwide is on your side.
always puts in first. You answer that bucket. I'm your kids.
All right. So, yes, I got this bad boy from Cooper Hopkins, my broadcast partner, who you know that we work with several times. My jersey came early. His check's been in the mail, so hopefully he will get it today, tomorrow, sometime this week. So I got a custom. I'll flip it on this side if you guys can see it. Sorry, because of the cerebral palsy, so that kind of makes it hard to do that. But custom Matty Beniers. So that is what I'm going to be rocking today. Go blue on the U of M side, so I'll be able to wear that when we go to Yost with Lauren and things like that with my fiance. If she can take the U of M shirt, I can wear the Matty Beniers. I'm sure nobody's going to throw beer on me on that side. So I'm excited. I haven't covered the Kraken yet. I have not covered the Buffalo Sabres yet. There's Tage Thompson on one side who looks like the second coming of the Alex Ovechkin. And yes, I'll slow it down as far as comparisons wise, but the fact that Tage Thompson is about 6'5", and he is just a big boy with a rocket of a shot, about 104 miles an hour. I think it's going to be really interesting. Buffalo's won 8 of the last 10 games. Yes, both these teams are playing off the back-to-back. And the Kraken, in the midst of a 7-game road trip, they're starting the road trip 4-0. They've won 5 straight. These are teams that can score. These are teams that can do a lot of damage. So I'm expecting that going to be the case today, even off the back-to-back. So we did get our starters right off the back-to-back. It is Philipp Grubauer versus Eric Comrie. So for Grubauer, it's 3-7-1, 353 goals against. Eric Comrie, 4-7-0. He's making his first start in like 15, 20 games, 4-7-0, 362. So they sent down, again, I'll just make this note, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, because he's in the AHL stint where he can be sent down without having to waive somebody else. So they can freely move him up and down off the two-way side of the contract. So that's why Eric Comrie is going to get the start in net. And head coach Dan Granato had flat out said we got 3 starters that we feel confident in. So that's what it's going to be tonight. So Buffalo has got it in their own defensive end. They're going to be wearing the blue jerseys with the gold piping for the lettering going left to right. Seattle's going to get the steal now, and I'm going to pull up my depth chart rosters. So Buffalo going to take their time with Rasmus Dahlin. And this is an opportunity for me, as far as a Michigan fan broadcasting this from Detroit, Michigan. I get to watch the top 2 picks from a couple of years ago, Owen Power and Matty Beniers on the same side of the ice. So I'm beyond excited to watch these teams score and play. Seattle looks like the real deal team just in their second year. And I had a lot of that same well wishes for Vegas when they first started, but the way that they just went all in on the craps table after making the Stanley Cup final, they've changed things quite a lot. So Seattle's kind of built the right way, and hopefully they don't try to press too much, continue to build, because this could be a good team. They got some fantastic jerseys. You could definitely say that. I got the home Navy on the side with the Matty Beniers. But again, this is just from Cooper Hopkins on that side. This is the U of M side for me. So a pass for Burakovsky. That one gets knocked away. Olofsson will try to pick this across the red line side. Don't forget, Alex Tuch is also on the Buffalo Sabres as well. So another product there formerly from Vegas, who's a very excellent player that plays not alongside Tage Thompson. Sometimes he does. You got Jeff Skinner on there too, but it's good players. So Carson Soucy will pick this up now off a long stretch pass as this goes around the inboards, but the icing is beaten out by Jared McCann. Buffalo trying to find it now toward the left side of their own red line as Jaden Shorts will get this one down. And now picked up by Jaden Shorts, former St. Louis Blues. Here's a nice setup. And that one was across from McCann for a 1T, but that was stopped by Eric Comrie. And we get a stoppage at 18:07 left to go in the first. So it's 1-0 in favor of the Seattle Kraken. Buffalo is not got on the spot yet. It was a 4-0 loss for the Sabres against the Philadelphia Flyers. Seattle coming off a 4-0 win over the Montreal Canadiens. Martin Jones got the 26-save shutout just the other day. So now you have Philipp Grubauer in net. Again, Grubauer and Comrie have not been sharp this year as far as their numbers. So you can expect some goals probably in this game, even off the back-to-back. Alex Tuch goes offside. It's going to be a neutral zone draw upcoming here. If Cooper Hopkins does join in on this broadcast, I will be more than happy to get him in. Again, he is on the Pacific time, so it's 4:11 for him, so I can't imagine he'll have to break maybe a third period, something like that. He may surprise me and ask me how the jersey fits on that side. So picked up now by Olofsson. We'll get this one down the ice for Seattle. Carson Soucy and Turbo Times out there. Brandon Tannen, that's what John Forslund affectionately calls him. You kind of think of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. That side with the action figure. As this touch there by Schultz. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw upcoming for the Kraken. So again, I look at some of these other names on my depth chart. Again, it's all 4 J's with Alex Lundberg on the second line. Shorts, McCann, Alexiak, Justin Schultz. There's some pretty good players all the way across this board. I understand the first year was rough, but you have some decent defensive depth, and Seattle's been able to get the points and everything else done by committee. Again, when you talk about it, I've just looked at it with Tage Thompson, he's only got 1 less goal in the sense of, let me get this right, he's got 56 points, and Matty Beniers has 32 points. What I was going to say, he's got 31 goals, and Matty Beniers only has 32 points. So Seattle gets it done by committee. Everybody's been able to score. They get some goals from D. They get some goals from forward. They signed Martin Jones not too long ago, about a month and a half ago, try to get some goaltending. He hasn't been great, but he hasn't been bad either. So this one gets blocked. Owen Power trying to pick this up now. As Buffalo can't keep this across the zone, Peyton Krebs, another Vegas product, will go offside. So no Krebs and no Alex Tuch. And no Nick Suzuki. If you're Vegas, it's a much, much different team on that side of it. Look, we understand that a lot of people from the first year are no longer there, but there's a lot of prospects in there that Buffalo is being able to have a nice season, especially after moving on from the Jack Eichel side of it, and they've really pressed 8 of the last 10. So Zemgus Girgensons will keep this live across the right side wall, and a shot maybe went off the stick of Grubauer. As this is picked up, Krebs will get this one. Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin patient in the middle of the slot with this pass, and it got knocked away from Girgensons. Andre Burakovsky will try to get this one down the ice, but it's icing again. This will be touched up by Samuelsson off the hybrid side. When I look at the Buffalo Sabres side, I'll just be honest, as far as their depth chart is concerned, I've not seen Matthias Samuelsson this year, but you got Owen Power on the second line. You got Rasmus Dahlin on the first. Dahlin's really broken out after a few years now. When you were expecting Dahlin to be one of the primo D-men, he's kind of turned into that. I don't know about Henry Yukiharu and Labushkin on the back end side, but if you have Dahlin and you have Power, you have some 2 linchpins that you can definitely use. And between Tage Thompson, between Krebs, Alex Tuch, Skinner, you got some pretty good players here on the Buffalo side. And if Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, when he starts getting back in goal again, doing those same kind of things, who's to say that Buffalo cannot make a playoff spot this year? Honestly. Wenberg will get this around Labushkin to negate the icing, and Vinny Hinostroza will get this one down here for Buffalo. Again, they're on the all blue with the gold piping lettering, kind of like the throwback Swords jerseys. I like those too. And I also like the black Buffalo heads ones too. They got some nice jerseys on the Buffalo side. So this is picked up by Yukiharu. We'll get this across to the defense side. Owen Power will make the pass across to the right side wing. And this gets picked up by Adam Larson, but only momentarily. Jaden Short's trying to get this out there for the Kraken. And now Larson stretch pass. Jared McCann's pass goes off on one of the Sabres, so it's not going to be icing. And this will get touched up here by the U of M product, the number 1 pick a couple of years ago, Owen Power. He's going to settle this one down as he makes the pass across the Sabres logo at the Key Bank. And again, it is indeed the Swords jerseys that they got right now. Andre Burakovsky, former Colorado Avalanche man. Send this one in as Beniers will watch. Beniers will try to get to this as this goes back to Jamie Alexiak from the Dallas Stars. He's a big man and he can throw some body blows as Beniers gets pinned along the boards right now. Try to get picked up there by Yukiharu as they're really working over on the cross check for Beniers. Alexiak tries to hold this in. It is nicely played by Burakovsky, but too many bodies in front had knocked the puck away as he had it in the middle of the circles. And now it's 15 minutes left to go in the first. John out here with you on the play-by-play. We're at KeyBank Center. It's Buffalo Sabres and Seattle Kraken. It's 2 teams I haven't covered yet this year. Burakovsky, nice entry up the toe drag, but his pass gets knocked away. And here's Tuch. across the left side wall. And now Larson will try to get this one across to the D-man. Picked up now by Andre Burakovsky. And now it's Turbo trying to race forward now as Brandon Tanev tries to get to it. Across the red line. And now this goes back to Rasmus Dahlin. Will take his time. Get this one across there with Mattias Samuelsson. Battle across the red line now between Carson Soucy. And this is picked up by Samuelsson. Soucy trying to throw a body blow in there. And this goes back now. Larson. Vince Dunn. Vince Dunn with his stretch pass. Morgan Geekie gets bodied off toward the right side wall. And now this stays in. Alex Tuch able to get a piece of it momentarily, but now let's go back to Rasmus Dahlin. 14 minutes left to go in this first. It's only 1-0. It's been a very precipitous defensive game right now. This is picked up across the blue line side for big Tage Thompson. He's able to break out, try to get a backhand pass. And again, you can see all 6'6" of him if you're following along on any side of the broadcast. You get the Kraken broadcast on ESPN Plus because John Forsland's one of the better ones that we got in this league, former Carolina Hurricanes play-by-play man. So this is picked up now by Soucy. No. This gets knocked away. Oliver Bjorkstrand will get a dangle up for a long pass. And Seattle gets like pinned against the boards between 3 different Sabres. Had no chance to be able to get that puck. And now Sabres will try to break out left to right. This has been a good defensive battle so far, as we've said. Not many chances at all. Just one for the Kraken. That was just a long outstretched shot. Yanni Gourde alongside the boards can't be held in. Slap shot got deflected, but that one went just wide. Power, Dahlin, and Jokiharju will try to get this one across as this gets picked up. Peyton Krebs. Peyton Krebs, Owen Power holding, gives it back to Krebs toward the right side wall. Inside pass there for Thompson, but great defense by Peyton Krebs in his own end. Power, up to get a piece of it. Jokiharju got it blocked. Now this goes back to Owen Power again. He's trying to fire a shot and goes wide. This goes toward the right side wall. A diagonal pass. Try to get picked up by Owen Power again. You can definitely see he's got some ability in the offensive end, and he's got a shot. Peyton Krebs as well. Good 200-foot game. As this gets picked up across the red line, and now Jaden Shorts gets us in alongside the wall. As Eric Comrie has a look, holding on to the right side post. Sabres trying to get this out of their own end right now. We'll just smash this across the wall. But not out. Alexiak off the tip. It's loose. And this one gets solved by Comrie and picked up now. Good outstretched pass there by Buffalo. Could be a race, though. And this one is won by Seattle at the hybrid icing. 12:08 left to go in the first. 2-0 in favor of Seattle, but we're still scoreless. So I hope you guys enjoy this game right now. And this is, again, the first time that I've ever ended up covering these two teams. I will give you a live look around the league. Again, I have my home team in action with the Detroit Red Wings and the Winnipeg Jets. But we will go around the league. We'll go around some of the standings. We'll take a look at some other things when we get into the break. Alexiak off the face-off draw. And Seattle's patient. Dahlin overskates it. And now Alexiak will hold to that left side blue line. Seattle trying to get this one alongside as it's Jordan Eberle out there with Matty Beniers right now, but he got canceled off the puck. And now it's just flipped across the red line. As this gets picked up by Jamie, he's going to go all the way back to play this puck. Long outstretched pass, Matty Beniers holding off the backhand. Good setup there for Burakovsky, but he overskated it there. And now Gourde tries to get a piece of it with Eberle. Matty Beniers was also there trying to break it out. And now Sabres. This is an outstretched pass, and here goes Tyson Yost, former Colorado Avalanche man. As Matty Beniers goes all the way back in his own end to pry the puck away from Yost, which was a nice play there by Beniers. He's the lone all-star. Tage Thompson is the lone all-star right now. As everything else is off to the fan vote. You get one from each team. So Power trying to get this one with the help of Yost. Fourth line still out there for Dan Granato stud. Yost will hold. Is going to leave this by Samuelsson. Mattias Samuelsson lost it. Now it goes to Adam Larson. And Larson, this may bounce up into the players' bench. Yes, it does. 10:55 left to go in the first. This wasn't the start that I expected right now, but again, this is a back-to-back. It is a defensive battle. 10:55 left in the scoreless first. Come right back. I appreciate you guys following along on the Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side. If you want some clear audio, you can follow along at John Ryan Twitter. I'm on Twitter Spaces right now. You can just stop by, join in, and say hello. If you're enjoying the YouTube side, I appreciate that. Do the Kraken or the Sabres make the playoffs this year? That is my question. Just one vote that says no right now. You can throw that out there and weigh in on your thoughts. Let me know what you think about these teams. Let me know what you think about the NHL or sports in general. Leave a comment in the box below. I will say this, and I'm covering a lot of NHL games throughout the year. I'm trying to get some NBA, college, and stuff. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. Again, I'm not 24 hours through this new cold. I just got over the COVID stuff, and now the fiance said she probably has a cold, so I'm feeling something a little bit. But get through with the medicine and the drop, so it shouldn't be too bad. I don't feel as bad right now anyway, but it's not 24 hours in. What I will say is I've not covered these two teams before, so it's kind of refreshing to get a chance to see how some other teams will play between a West and East Conference matchup. We'll see what happens this weekend if Cooper Hopkins can join if I don't get a hold of him on Thursday side, because I think it's going to be Vegas and Edmonton, and that's always a fun matchup in the Pacific side of it. If we can get to that hook up on this weekend, that would be pretty cool. I should have, if everything goes to plan as I planned on this week, it'll be Bama and Arkansas college basketball, and then an NBA son. I was going to do Boston and Brooklyn. Kevin Durant's out for a month with a knee injury, so I might have to flip to another game. But I have with the League Pass side, it'll be all right. So shot goes down into the neutral zone, but it's a hybrid icing, and Buffalo's going to touch up here. So 10:45 up to go in the first. It's going to be an offensive zone draw here for the Sabres. They do not have a shot yet, and Seattle only has two. 10:45 left to go in the first. Vince Dunn, 3 straight games with a goal. He was the St. Louis Blues product, again picked up in the expansion draft. Seattle just in their second year. Vegas Golden Knights in their 5th. They missed the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Seattle trying to get there for the first time in 2 years. So this gets picked up by Samuelson. And now he gets taken away by McCann, and Gergenson's lost the pass, and now Jared McCann will get this one here for Alex Wennberg. An opportunity for the Kraken. Got brushed aside by the glove hand of Eric Comrie, and that was their best one off of a 3-on-2 pass. And now Alex Tuch will take his time as he'll leave it here for Rasmus Dahlin. An entry was clean at that. Tage Thompson, nice toe drag move, backhand, palm scores! The ability of Tage Thompson to get amongst the trees, and he drops it right off to Alex Tuch and finishes it off with a backhand in tight. It's a 1-0 lead for the Swords. Sabres take advantage. 10:04 left to go in this first. So Tage Thompson, again, he's about 6'5", 230. Power move. He just gets around Adam Larson with a windmill deke, puts the stick up and over, makes the backhand pass to another large human being, and Alex Tuch, who was right in front of the doorstep. He got around Jaden Shorts, and the Sabres take a 1-0 lead. That was a really nice looking goal there by Buffalo. Both of these teams, as we talked about going in, that can score lots and lots of goals, and that's kind of what we expected. Daniel Sprong, the Washington Capitals legend, I say that loosely on that side. If you think about some of the NHL games, he got denied there by Comrie, picked up toward the left side wall, and this was tipped again as Turbo going to try to pick this one up. Now this goes back to Daniel Sprong, D to D. Olofsson going to shoot the shot. This one goes way off the right side wall. Owen Power can't find it, and now this is picked up by Buffalo's Kalak Poso tries to find it. Jamie Alexiak going for a tip, and that one goes way wide. Sprung was out in front, and now the Sabres can one more time try to get this across the right side wall as this gets canceled away from Morgan Geeky. And now here come the Sabres as they get this clear across the right side of the red line. But they thought better. They're going to go and take a change. So Tuch with his 19th from Tage Thompson and Jeff Skinner. This is picked up by Alexiak. Schultz will get this one, but his outstretched pass gets picked off, but good forechecking there by Seattle to go ahead and pick this one up there momentarily, try to get away from Yoki Haru. Body slammed across the right side wall, but Buffalo still stays with it. It's a weak pass into the middle of the dots, but somehow Buffalo will collect. Grubauer is in trouble and behind his own net as this bounces off of the back of Carson Soucy. This may give Buffalo an opportunity to break out, but no. They'll get a piece of it now as Oliver Bjorkstrand will get this one down. Again, he was a product that will be missed from the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's on Seattle nowadays. 8:15 left to go in the first. Alex Tuch with the lone goal right now, assisted by Tage Thompson with the primary side. And across the red line. Can safely dump as this goes back to Philipp Grubauer. Seattle going to take their chance. Adam Larson with an outstretched pass. This one gets flubbed, but it's going to work anyways. It hits Casey Middlestat. As one of the Sabres loses it in between their skates. It's a battle into the neutral zone now, but Middlestat will work hard and pick this one all the way back up by his lonesome. This goes around the end boards now for the Sabres, as they'll take a chance. They'll move some things around between Owen Power and Kel Clay. Who's the defensive out there right now? Tyson Yost will get this one down deep, and this touches the stick of Grubauer one more time. He plays this hard along the inside wall, but this is picked up. Casey Middlestat in between the circles will pass to the outside, looking for a deflection. Olofsson was there, but the stick went wide, and now it can't get out. And Yost keeps it in as the Sabres can't get it out of their own end. It was Burakovsky that fanned on a clear, but now the Kraken will pick this up toward the right side dot. Adam Larson will get this one to Beniers. Beniers going to have to peel back now to go to Vince Dunn, and Vince Dunn gets around two separate sticks, gets this one down the ice, where it touches the goal stick of Eric Comrie. So about 13 minutes left to go in this first. John, I'm here with you at the KeyBank Center. A lot of empty seats right now between these two teams, but the Sabres have been very good. They've won 8 of the last 10. Seattle's won 5 in a row. They're 4-0 on this road stand right now. So win, lose, or draw, it's been an excellent road stand right now, but there's still tons of time with 6:40 left in the first. Wemberg off the backhand trying to gain the entry. Schultz will drop it here for Jared McCann as this one gets knocked away. And now Wemberg will collect. Tried to shoot a shot there. Jaden Shorts got canceled off. This gets tipped by Alexiak. And now Wemberg will pick it up in behind the office of Comrie. Wemberg gets it back toward the right side wall, looking for a backhand pass, and just eluded the stick of Jared McCann. Seattle has to touch back because they're off sides. This is going to give Buffalo an opportunity to really take their time and get everybody changed. It's 6 shots to 2, but Buffalo's got the lone goal right now, courtesy of Alex Tuch and Tage Thompson. Poso. His pass bounced off one of his teammates. And now this gets cleared into the right side wall. Down the ice, it's going to be icing against the Kraken. And it's going to be an offensive zone draw coming up for Buffalo. 5:52 left in the opening frame. Buffalo up 1-0. So I'm going to take a look at some of the other notes because I think the commercial is going to stay with us here. So the Kraken, in the midst of a 7-game road trip, was the longest in their short franchise history, 4-0 so far. They've already beaten New York Islanders, Edmonton, and Toronto during this run, but they're going to be playing Boston, Tampa, Edmonton, and New Jersey during the rest of this stretch in their schedule. So during the 7-game road stand, they're 4-0 right now, but when they come back between some of these games, it will be Tampa, Edmonton, New Jersey, and Colorado, so it's going to be tough. Now, we will go to a break, and we'll talk more in a minute.
And this time, it's up to you to choose the rest of the roster. The 2023 NHL All-Star Fan Vote, presented by Guaranteed Rate. Vote today on the NHL app or NHL.com/vote.
So you guys give me your thoughts. I'm going to look at the NHL standings really quick as we're going in through this break. I'm going to pull the wild card spot up here on this side. So for Boston, again, it's all systems go. 40 games played, 32, 4-4. A staggering 68 points. Far and away the best team in the NHL. The next closest would be the Carolina Hurricanes with 57. And the next closest comes from the West and the Vegas Golden Knights, who have the best amount of points in the West with 56 in the Pacific. Seattle Kraken have 50, and they have 3 games in hand. So if they win all their games, they have the same amount of points the Vegas Golden Knights. Could be the best team in the West. That's how good Seattle's playing. So we have some interesting games going on in the NHL today, and these are the early games, are the ones that have the most intrigue. Of course, when I don't cover the Red Wings, they're winning 2-0 against the Winnipeg Jets. Jake Wallman, again, he scored over the last few games, and Jonathan Berggren 2-0 lead on the Jets. Ville Husso in net, and Connor Hellebuck is in net. So that just speaks to it. So if I ever cover a Red Wings game, all they do is lose. So I want to watch my hometown team play against good teams, but I want to cover them all the time. But you figure that's what happens. Hurricanes have a 1-0 lead over the Devils, Wild have a 1-0 lead over the Rangers. It's the Canucks all over the Penguins right now, early in the first. It's 3-1. We'll get back into more of this in a moment. Carson Soucy will get the puck dumped down deep, and now Samuelson will pick it up here for the Buffalo Sabres. It's a battle toward the right side wall, but it's won there by Buffalo. Kyle Okposo. So fourth line's out there for Dan Granato. Squad with the first line defense is Adam Larson will touch up off the hybrid. 5:24 left to go in this first. John on here with you from KeyBank Center, doing the play-by-play here today. Full game coverage is going to follow with the broadcast in hand, the recorder that you see me holding. That's a hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com. That's where all our broadcasts are. And on that side of it, it's on Spotify, anywhere you can get your broadcasts and podcasts, and then the game story will always follow. So that's what I've been doing for about a year's time now. This is year number 2 here as far as all that stuff is done. It's been a lot more NHL assignments as we've gone across, but I've not forgotten about basketball and baseball and other college assignments. Maybe at some point during this part of year 2023, I'll get to a soccer game or a football game. I don't know enough. So shot gets tipped, but it goes across the right side wall. Postal will get this one down. Adam Larson will touch on it. The Edmonton Oilers product. And now Seattle Kraken will break out. Matty Beniers, it's 1-on-3. Going to go for a long wrist shot. He whistled it wide at the right post. I had a lot of heat on it, but it just missed. And now this goes back. Hinostroza now from Middlestrap. Hinostroza will get this now. He's going to shoot for a short side shot. And somehow that fell back to Philipp Grubauer. I thought it went wide. It ended up going right into the webbing of the catching glove. So it will count as a shot on goal. 4:51 left to go in the first. This was just a shot from Vinny Hinostroza along the right side wall, and I think it got tipped by Kyle Okposo. And that's how it ended up getting back into the webbing of the catching glove. It went off Okposo's arm, and then went right back to Philipp Grubauer. You don't see that very often. Alex Weinberg can't win the draw, and this will give Buffalo some opportunity for puck possession. Martin Jones, he stops it with the left of the stick, and this is picked up now. Rasmus Dahlin put this down deep. Dylan Cozens trying to find it as he gets sandwiched on the right side wall. He almost got nutmegged by Jaden Shorts as this gets picked up. And now Yuki Haru will get this one across with Dahlin off the backhand, and that one goes wide to the left bar. Seattle just trying to get this out of their own end right now as Jared McCann ends up winning a puck battle. Jaden Shorts with Wemberg trying to do the windmill deep, but that one got knocked away. Flipped over toward the right side wall. Sabres will collect. This is going to touch the stick, or no, it's not. Philipp Grubauer going to let it go for icing. Thought maybe he'd play it. Going to take the offensive zone draw here are the Seattle Kraken with 4:08 left to go in the first. Again, the lone goal was a chance for Alex Tuch off of a great individual move for Tage Thompson. And again, this is my first time seeing both of these teams, but when I seen Tage Thompson, you see all 6'5" of them as he's listed. You can see this in the broadcast. He looks like a mountain of a man with his skating ability. So he's one of those hybrid two-way forwards that can also kind of play a little bit of defense, a little bit of offense, do a little bit of everything. That's what a two-way forward would do. But at that size, that's what's really striking. And the fact that his shot can be in the upper reaches of the hundreds. I'm talking like 103, 104, not just standard 100. He's got a wicked, wicked shot with power and placement. So he's going to score a lot of goals. And Buffalo is happy as heck to have him, I would imagine. So Carson Soucy, as this goes D to D, this gets knocked away there from Daniel Sprong. Sprong will collect off of the stick lift, though. This is played back off the right side of the boards. Sprong will try to find it. As Seattle doing a good job staying in the end, but now it's going to be a 3-on-2 developing as Vinny Hinostroza will play a pass off the embankment. This takes a fortunate bounce, but it went just wide of Philipp Grubauer's cage. And now it's given right to Carson Soucy. They tried to bank it off Grubauer's face mask, but it fell right to Carson Soucy. Brandon Tanev. And now we are finally going to get our first penalty. I believe it's going to be Carson Soucy because he just punched somebody into the boards, and he probably used a little bit of the stick as well. Taking a look at the replay, it was Carson Soucy little bit of a hold and drive into the boards of Tyson Yo. So Sabres go to the first power play when we come back. So here's the thing, if you look at the West, and I'll just say this plain as day, you look at any of the stuff on the LA Kings broadcast and they'll tell you this. 44 games played. They have far and away more games played than anyone else. So you would expect them to have a decent amount of points. They got 44 games played, 54 points. Vegas just 2 games in hand with 56. I think the LA Kings, even with a -1 goal differential, that's crazy. So they're 2 in Pacific with a -1 goal differential. They might be the only team. Yes, they are the only team in the NHL with the top 2 spot or top 3 spot in the division that has minus differential. What I was going to say was the LA Kings, I think they have a legitimate shot to be number 1 in the Pacific. I really believe that. We did a little panic index with Cooper Hopkins and myself. I think we gave the Vegas Golden Knights a soft 4. I don't think it was anything crazy, but they wanted to build on that home record where they're just 12-10. They used to be invincible at the Fortress. They're excellent on the road, 15-3-2. And the Kings probably pretty good across wherever they go, 13-7-2 at home, 11-7-4 on the road. I think the LA Kings can definitely challenge for that top spot, but I think their fans and everybody else, the players, are going to be happy when they get a few off days. 3-0 lead for the Red Wings. Of course, that happens. Picked up now. This will be toward the right side of the dot. It's going to be an offensive zone draw here. Dylan Cozens is trying off the tie-up, and the Sabres do win it. This goes to Rasmus Dahlin now. Dahlin going to take his hands. Goes back to Cozens. Dahlin in the high slot now. Dahlin, nice back pass as he was under duress between 3 Seattle Kraken sticks. Buffalo keeps us alive. Jeff Skinner. Tage Thompson, patient, trying to find Dahlin. And now Cozens will collect off the right side wall. Back pass by Tuch. Buffalo on the power play right now. They've won the draw. Shot by Cozens. This goes off of the pad of Philipp Grubauer, and Tage Thompson shot an absolute bullet that was a sacrificial block there by one of the Kraken. And that one has to hurt because, like we said, he's in the upper regions of the 100, about 103, 104. He's been clocked at. 40 power play goals for the Buffalo Sabres, 25 for the Seattle Kraken on the season right now. It's Buffalo's ones on the power plays. Swords got the puck, and this one's picked up by Eric Comrie. Again, he's making his start over like the last 15 games coming off an injury. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has been sent down to the AHL Rochester side there for Buffalo. And again, he can freely do so because he's on a 2-way deal. So they sent him down so they can go ahead and bring up Eric Comrie without having to wave it forward or a D-man. So Thompson off the backhand. As this will get picked up by Owen Power, U of M man. We'll get this one across to Kyle Okposo. Power gets canceled off the right side wall, and Seattle has done a great job so far on this kill. Not to mention the Tage Thompson block, as Eric Comrie will touch this up. 25 seconds left to go on the Buffalo power play. On the Root Sports feeds here for Seattle, the font's quite small, so I have to remember that they're on the power play side. As this is picked up there by Okposo, but Will Borgen will get this one down here for Seattle. Yanni Gord will watch as Eric Comrie will just make a long pass toward the right side dot. Okposo gains the entry. Here's a back pass. Good setup there. Cozens and Philipp Grubauer just robbed somebody on the Buffalo Sabres. But this is with Seattle now. They'll get this across the right side red line. And now Buffalo will touch up. 1:15 left. We get a stoppage. Penalties called for holding. And we'll see who this is going to be on. I believe this is going to be on Buffalo with hence the booze. So the KeyBank Center crowd doesn't like it, that of what's there. I would say you could probably disperse. I wouldn't say 50% of the building is full, maybe 65%. Because you could definitely flood a lot of these fans and funnel them toward one side of the ice, and you can see part of a section not filled at all. Tage Thompson, that one went off of the skate of Will Borgen and cleared down the ice. That one had hurt. So Matty Beniers lost the draw. And now this is a chance for Seattle on the power play side. Scores! It's tipped in! Seattle scores right off the power play, right when they get it. And we'll see who this is going to be credited for, whether that's Eberle or Sprong. think Jordan Eberle, he was the one that was right on the doorstep. Ties the game at 1 here for the Kraken. I'm going to pull up my ESPN box as well so we can get you those official numbers when they get updated. So right now it only has the Buffalo goals, I'd imagine, because this just happened. So it just goes D to D. A shot from D to D gets tipped in. I think Jordan Eberle was the one to touch it with the stick. He was. He got it around Matthias Samuelsson. It beat Eric Comrie. So Jordan Eberle right on the power play. Seattle had their opportunity, and 6 seconds into their power play man advantage, they scored. Tie this game at 1. So shots are now 8-6 favor of the Buffalo Sabres, but it's a 1-1 tie. Power play goal in 5 of the last 6 games there for the Kraken. So Nostroza will go back D to D. As this gets picked up now by Yoki Haru, who'll get this one down. It's Dunn. As this gets around Tyson Yost. And now Jaden Shorts can't get to it. Try to go to Vinny Nostroza toward the left side dot. And now Brandon Tanev, turbo times, got it toward the left side wall. As this gets knocked away from Casey Middlestat. And now Jaden Shorts will take his time, make a cross pass for Andre Burakovsky. He needs some help, though. He's going to hold this off beforehand, just trying to buy some time. Carson Soucy will get a couple stick checks in there, trying to break this out before Buffalo can get in the offensive end. And Seattle has time on their side right now. You think they'll be patient with 10 seconds left to go in this first. They just tied it at 1. They touched up on side was Eli Tolvin, and again, he's been hot. He's got 5 points in 5 games since being called up. Buffalo's going to run out of time to the right side wall. That ends the first. 1-1 is your scoreline. It's Alex Tuch and Jordan Eberle, the lone goal scorers. When we come back, we'll call the second stanza in a moment. Again, apologize if the voice and everything else sounds a little bit low. I'm doing momentarily cold, so after getting on the COVID stuff with the on my own side, we'll spend time with the fiance yesterday. She said, I had to see you, but I have a cold. Sorry. Oh, man. It feels like what I'm going to get. So we'll see what ends up happening if things don't get too crazy, but it should be good to go for the rest of the week. Just a little bit of energy loss, trying to keep the medicine and the cough drops and things available with the water. It might be an off day tomorrow, but come back Thursday when I'm doing it. I wasn't going to miss this game no matter what.
Proud to share our support of the military with the NHL. Navy Federal Credit.
So I'm going to type these goals in real quick, and then we'll get our reset.
When Wingstop made a chicken sandwich, you know they would make just one. Now you can have 12 new sauce and toss favorites like lemon pepper, mango habanero, and OG hot. So try the new chicken sandwich at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
It's not like the good old days.
It's not like the good old days.
It's not like the
It's not like the good old days.
Stop carrying everything. Instead, drink a Red Bull and think for yourselves.
Since when do you dictate what we do?
Exactly. You're not the boss of us. Power to the people.
Oh, well, individuality often complicates things. Red Bull gives you wings.
All right. So it's a 1-1 game after one period of play. So it's Jordan Eberle from Andre Burakovsky was the latest goal. And I'll get this put into the box side. This is all set up there for the story so I can get everything as quickly as possible and have all the notes and everything else in front of me. So that's why I take the momentary couple-minute pause to get things typed in. So I apologize, guys. There's always follows with the broadcast. There's always a story after it for those that want it. I know not everybody always reads the coverage, but it is free. It is there. It is from me. I really just high school journalist mostly, the Oakland Press side covering all of that, but I like doing stuff with the NHL, I like doing stuff with the stories, NBA, baseball, things like that. So a lot of writing and stuff for me. You may or may not like the way that I do it, but the coverage and all that stuff is always there for you. So it was Jordan Eberle at the 1852 mark was the latest goal on the power play as it was tipped off the faceoff when Andre Burakovsky shot from the D-to-D side. It gets tipped, it goes in. And then the 9:56 marker from before that, as it was just before the 10-minute mark, when not much was happening. It was a very defensive first period for the most part. Tage Thompson made an incredible move. He was toward the left side dot. He made a windmill deke. He lifted the stick over Jaden Shorts to get around. And then once he did, he made a great pass inside. It was a backhanded sauce cross pass. So he got this off backhand, holding it off this way, making the pass across. It hit Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson created it. It hit Alex Tuch, off the 2-on-1. He finished it very tight. So great play. Again, 6'6", they say. I thought it was 6'5" on ESPN. So 6'6" for Tage. And I don't think I'm going to say this too lightly. Again, this is just my first time, as I mentioned. So it was Tuch from Tage Thompson and Jeff Skinner. That was the goal for the Sabres. But like I said, not covering these teams before, and then I look in and I see Tage Thompson on the ice when we do some of this game. This guy's a unicorn. I really believe that. He's got some skating speed. He plays a good defensive game. He can make some plays. He's got some great hands. He's got a great shot. He's probably one of those guys that I think nobody really talks about. And he was the certified lock all-star for the Buffalo Sabres. Look, I know that there's a fan vote, and there's going to be some other things. I imagine there will be a couple extra Carolina Hurricanes on the east side, maybe a couple extra Edmonton Oilers or a Colorado Avalanche on the west side. But Tage Thompson, very, very deserving as far as that. He's got some serious ability. It's been fun to watch this first period so far, and we'll see what happens in the next two.
He's looking for the stick, and for Jordan Eberle there, just kind of ramps that stick, right? Elevates it a little bit, allows the puck to kick in off of it. I'll try to go upstairs, just get it over.
Let's take a quick little bathroom break. I'll be right back and do a score reset around the league.
And that goal coming right after a very impressive penalty kill by the Kraken that played against a very good power play team.
Third goal scored by the Kraken this season. WNCC will donate $250 to the Boys and Girls Club of Washington State. One so far tonight. Hey, stick around. Piper Shaw on deck. We'll have a conversation with Alex Weinberg. Angie Mintic here tonight as well. Stick around. Hey, welcome to Apple Fitness Plus. Do not hold back.
Wendy's fries are always hot and crispy.
Friday!
So Toby says every day is now
Friday. Tuesday.
Friday.
Wednesday.
Friday.
Friday.
Friday. I always remember that.
Because it's the easy one.
Try Wendy's hot and crispy fries. Preferred almost 2-to-1 over McDonald's.
Make more good in the Kia Sportage Extra. Kia, movement that inspires.
What did you expect? Did you think you could relax? Or had you convinced yourself some records were forever?
that you'd seen everything there was to see? Or have you realized you can't look away and you don't know the future and that the game has never been better? That is hockey.
All right, guys. Thank you for being patient. Oh. I'll tell you the the quick story. I know Cooper Hopkins isn't in here, but he said this during the last time when we did the USA Canada World Juniors broadcast. When he had this in his car and he sent it over, he's like, "Well, I want one of these jerseys now." I really like these homemade. It's not just with the Matty Beniers side of it for the U of M for me. I really like these, and again, for me, the only other NHL jersey that I have in my closet is Steve Yzerman. So it's a while. I mean, I can understand. I got some Dylan Larkin stuff in here. I can say that I want some Red Wing stuff, and I do. I'd like to get another thing, but it's hard when you're going to go ahead and get a jersey. Again, I'm 35. I'm getting older now and all that stuff. But when you're going ahead and spend the money to get another jersey, what you really want to try to do, or at least I think anybody tries to do, unless you're a member of the Atlanta Braves and you're happy because everybody's locked up, you want to find the next guy that's going to be able to stay on your team, so you don't have to, within the next 3 years or whatever, like, oh man, he's not there anymore. I know some people don't care. You have it left in the closet or this and that. It doesn't matter. But you want to try to find someone that's going to stay there. Hopefully, be there for a while. We'll see what happens with Beniers. I think is the first pick there for Seattle as far as their franchise side of it. I think that might end up working out for me. So I was happy to get that one. So let's go around the league, give you some scores. They're all at the end of the first, so I can't give you any. I can't give you any ones that are in the middle of play. We'll hold that. Maybe I can give you the Stars and the Islanders. We can flip that one over. See how much time is left on our game here. Because we're going to go back to our official game when we get to it. We pull the app. So it is a 3-1 lead for the Red Wings at the first with the Jets. Our game is 1-1 between the Kraken and the Sabres. It's 1-1 at the end of the first between Devils and Hurricanes. 2-0 for the Wild over the Rangers. The Wild have been ridiculously hot of late. They are really making a push in the Central. They could maybe win this Central if they keep on doing what they're doing. Even though they're 22-14-3, the Rangers are 22-12-7. When you get on that kind of run, just like the Sabres are in the East, that changes some things. It's a 3-3 tie now for the Canucks and the Penguins. So the Penguins were getting punched in the mouth. They're down 3-0. They scored 3 straight goals. Lightning all over the Blue Jackets, 2-0 at the end of the first, and the Stars and the Islanders are in the middle of play. It's a 1-0 lead for the Stars. Let me pull and see how much time is left in our intermission. So about 5 minutes. So I can flip this for maybe a couple minutes here. So let me do that. It's on the same ESPN Plus app. So I'll flip it for a couple minutes. And then we'll go back to our official game. Go to the Stars broadcast because the Stars broadcast is really good. Talking about the broadcast side of things, when you think about, I'm not being biased on the side of it between Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond either. For the Red Wings, that's a top tier broadcast. That's just the way it is. It's been voted that way across the athletic period. That's a top tier broadcast. Seattle Kraken with John Forslund, that's a top tier broadcast. You guys have great broadcast on that side. Dallas Stars, and you have Razor Ray. That's a great broadcast for the Dallas Stars. It's another really good crew. The only other ones I think that are in that same type of range, I like Rick Ball and Kelly Hurdy for the Calgary Flames, and I'm not just saying that for Cooper Hopkins' side. I think Sportsnet does a great job. There's the other Sportsnet stuff with the Vancouver Canucks, the two Johns. I know my name is John as well, but they have the two Johns, one play-by-play and one color man. I forget what their names are, but the last name side of it, those guys have a good broadcast. But there are a couple ones that are not so good. And I'm not just talking about the ESPN Plus side that you can have sometimes. Nesson is quite possibly the worst broadcast crew that you have in the NHL. If it's not the worst, it's like bottom three. And Jack's not that good on that side. I'm just saying. I know there's some homers that might love it. He's not good at all. So like that would be bottom tier. Pittsburgh Penguins broadcast is very homey and very one-sided. Like that's a rough one. I'm trying to think of like one other one that I really don't like. It's kind of interesting now. Tampa Bay Lightning have changed their crew, and they have one of the former guys on Sportsnet, TSN, that does their main job. He does a great job on Tampa side, so that was a definite upgrade. Colorado Avalanche had another one of those very homey type broadcasts. Same thing with the Florida Panthers. This one's going to be on ESPN Plus and Hulu only, so you figure out what you guys will get tonight. But those are some rough ones as well, because you don't really want to have. I know some fans like that, but for me, you don't really want to have a broadcast that's all one-sided that only says things when your team does well. But then anytime they don't, they just dismiss it. I hate those type of broadcasts. When I'm listening to something, I want to learn something. I want to be entertained. I want to laugh a little bit. That's the one thing I like about Mickey Redmond on that side with Ken Daniels. And that's not just being a homer side again. It's just the truth. If the Red Wings play like crap, he's going to flat out say they play like crap. And if something funny happens, he's going to poke fun at the referees or poke fun at the players and say it as it is. He's one of the few guys that are in the broadcast side that actually do that. He's kind of a treasure on that end of it. What are your thoughts, though? I'm going to pull this Stars game here in another minute because our game's going to be going in a second. So we're at UBS Arena for the New York Islanders is a live look-in before we go back in our game. It's 50 seasons for the New York Islanders. Can't really believe it's been that long. 1972. I was born in 87. It's a long, long time. I mean, hell. I mean, think about if you're around the age that I am. Remember when Tampa entered the league, you had Arizona change over. The Winnipeg Jets became the Quebec Nordiques became the Colorado Avalanche. You lost the Atlanta Thrashers. We've had some interesting things. I'd like to see the Atlanta Thrashers get a team back. I know that didn't end up working out very well, but man, they had some great players. When you got Hossa and Kolchuk on the same line, come on, man. I'm going to flip back over here so we don't miss it.
Comrie, we're going to look at where the breakdown happens. Samuelson tries to ice this puck, but he's got to get back to the.
I really appreciate you guys following along on the YouTube side as well. I know there's been consistently 3-4 people in here listening, so thank you very much for that. Again, hopefully this won't be a COVID situation. This will be a cold thing. I just got over COVID stuff like a week and a half ago, and now I have to deal with the cold and all that. So it is what it is. Maybe by the end of January, I'll be healthy completely, and then get back into my MIHL assignments with the Waterford Sharks when they're not doing the outdoor games. So it's a 1-1 game, 7 shots apiece on both sides, 1 for 1 on the power play for Seattle, 1 for 1 for Buffalo, 6 hits and 9. Let me just go ahead and put this on my shot board too on that side. 7-7.
Middle training here tonight will be in Boston on Thursday as this long-term
Let me just pull that up as far as to make sure I get those notes for the story. So we're just getting set here for second period puck drop. It's Tuch and Yanni Gord set to go ahead and take the draw here. As the ref is still waiting to drop this in, they're having little lunch plans. That was Peyton Krebs, excuse me. So Krebs will get this one after Owen Power gets his cross for Krebs, and they'll chop this one in. So it's going to be a right to left for the Buffalo Sabres. They have the blue Swords jerseys with the gold piping on the side. Those are really, really nice. And on the other side for Seattle, they have their road whites. They're going to be going left to right in this second period. The shots are tied at 7. The goals are tied at 1. It was Alex Tuch and it was Jordan Eberle, their lone goal scorers. Eberle with his 10th from Burakovsky. That's on the Root Sports side. We're watching with John Forslund. I'm John on here with you, your play-by-play man at KeyBank Center on ESPN Plus between Seattle and the Buffalo Sabres. And yes, this is a Matty Beniers, custom from Cooper Hopkins, directly from the Seattle Washington Shell, former Seattleite. Proud and raised there on that side, he would say, as this one gets tipped up in the air and goes in the netting. That was a shot there for Jared McCann, and we'll do it again to the neutral zone. So I sent him his check again, as we said. It should be getting it any day now as far as all that stuff. It'd be nice, though, as sweet as this jersey is, and again, it's a 10 out of 10 for me as far as that's concerned. It'd be nice for as much as pay for a jersey to get a couple tickets on that side included by the NHL. Come on, guys. Alex Wemberg lost it. No, this goes to Jeff Skinner. His outstretched pass gets tipped by the stick of Vince Dunn, and one of the fans got to look out over there. There was a shock. I hope nobody got hit with this puck as this got flipped up in the air, and I'm serious. Jeff Skinner, and this was just fluttering, spinning up in the air. You see a lot of fans had their head down and doing this and a little bit of reaction. It was a spinning puck. Hopefully it had velocity on it. Hopefully it hit the glass or something else and not a fan, as that's what they're looking at right now. And, oh, boy, that's not what – oh, man. One of the fans might have been clipped with the puck, and there's some towels right from the bench. Somebody got hit in the face. Oh, I hope I never had to do this during the broadcast, guys, but we're going to have to take a couple extra minutes here as they need to attend to one of these fans. And I know this isn't one of those situations where they were looking down on their phone. It was just a puck that was tipped off of a stick from Vince Dunn. Nothing they can do. They had a hell of a lot of velocity on it. It just went over the glass in the players' bench and hit one of the fans right in the face. Boy, oh boy. So I hope that he or she or whoever it is okay. Everybody is gathered around them right now. They got towels, and hopefully be able to get the blood and everything else all squared away and get everything all stitched up and be okay. As some of the fans now are starting to rise to their feet and clap their hands, it seems like the fans are going to be okay. And the puck is cleared in, picked up now by the Sabres, shooting the short side. And now Carson Sousa will get this one down. So it's never easy to transition in the broadcast, so a good thing that one of the teams didn't score right there. So thankfully the fans okay, and we're back underneath play right now. As this is picked up, Jaden Shorts. And across the right side for Alex Wemberg, but this gets canceled off. And now this goes to Vinny Hinostroza. Hinostroza toward Rasmus Asplund, but this is an icing. So Buffalo can't change their offensive personnel, and Seattle got an offensive zone draw. Still 7 shots to 7. 18:30 left to go in the second. 1-1 is your scoreline. So as we mentioned, Seattle's got a crazy-looking schedule coming because they got the Bruins on Thursday. You got an easy one with the Blackhawks on Saturday, formidably. And then a back-to-back between Tampa and the Oilers. If that Tampa game wasn't so early, honestly, I might consider even doing Tampa and Seattle just to see where Seattle would stand right now. Because I think that they're going to be a playoff team at the end of this. And honestly, Buffalo, if they keep doing what they're doing, they could be as well. They have a little more ground to make up in the East, but winning 8 out of 10, yeah, that's going to put you in the playoffs. So you can consistently do that. So Beniers will get this on Kel Clegg. And Beniers now trying to find this. Burakovsky. This is whistled dead. Not sure why. Was there a penalty toward the right side boards that we missed? And now this is picked up here by Samuelson. Samuelson was having a look. One of the Kraken were having a look. I think Seattle may be going to a power play. Matthias Samuelson might be going to the box, or Seattle might be going to the box. Jordan Eberle right now, he's going to sit in the sim bin. So there was a meeting toward the right side of the boards for a slash, and we'll see what it is. So Eberle's in toward the right side of the wall, and he clipped. Yes, he clipped Matthias Samuelsson. So he missed that stick right in the face during the camera cut. So it's going to be the second power play for Buffalo. That was a great stop inside from Philipp Grubauer against Alex Tuch. And now racing one way is turbo time. And then I'll peel it back. So Seattle going to take their time here with Adam Larson. Adam Larson with his outstretched pass. This will get cleared down the ice. And that was a great save by Philipp Grubauer. I know there's not been a lot of chances either way on both of these teams. But you can't underestimate that kind of stop in tight. Tuch trying to make his pass as it gets blocked. He'll pick it back up though. With Alex Tuch and Tage Thompson, again, they're not always together. I wouldn't think of a kill. Some serious size and goal scoring ability for Buffalo. And that could be a real problem for some of these other teams that like to have these smaller, high skilled type forwards. Not to say that Tuch and Thompson can't do it. They can do it with the bigger bodies. So Cozens will draw a defender in Jared McCann as this goes back to Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin will take his time now. Dahlin still holding. He's contested toward the right side of the blue one. Good job by Will Vorgan just to get a stick on it. And now Yanni Gordon will cut across as this gets knocked away from Jared McCann, but he's got it alive as this is toward the right wall. He's canceled off toward the right red line. And now Thompson take his time into the center zone. And now Cozens holding off the backhand, just trying to make a pass, but didn't find anybody but a Seattle jersey as this one gets flipped down the ice. 25 seconds left to go in this power play. Buffalo with their second of the game as far as power play concerned. Might be going 0 for 2. They got 20 seconds to get in the zone, though, as Peyton Krebs had to peel back. Now Casey Middlestat, good setup toward the right side wall. As a skiff flutter around the embankment. Picked up here by Peyton Krebs, number 19. Will crisscross it, get it back to the D. Now Middlestat to Power. Power back to Middlestat. Now Krebs. Krebs looking for the pass across without the Pollock post, though. Middlestat picks it up. Power in the middle of the slot now. Holding. Slap shot set up for Thompson. And again, that one was blocked as this one gets flipped down the ice. So no shots for Buffalo on that power play. Still 8-7 on the shots. Middlestat. Back pass right in the middle of the slot. And a good setup there for Rasmus Asplund, but he got denied by Philipp Grubauer. 15:46 left to go in the second. John on here with you on the call as KeyBank Center. It's been a fun game right now between these two teams, honestly. I know there's not been a lot of shots, but again, two teams I haven't covered, so maybe I keep my 4 eyes a little bit more wide open, or maybe I'm just trying to concentrate on this cold side, so I hope the voice and everything else is kind of picking up through it, not sounding a little too nasally here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you following along. So Tyson Yost might get kicked out of the draw. So this will go to Vinny Hinostroza, former Chicago Blackhawk. He signed with the Buffalo Sabres. Not sure how long his deal is going to be before I tongue-tie myself, as Hinostroza will win it. Hinostroza will try to get this one, but this one will go back to Ilya Lyubushkin. The former Maple Leafs product, Kel Clegg, will get this across the right side of the red line. And now Schultz trying to find it. He got canceled off a couple of sticks, and so did Eberle, who just came out of the box. Yost will get this one down here for Rasmus Asplund as he got driven toward the right side of the wall. He tried to just do a little shove to get around some of the inside of the boards, a little L1 on the PlayStation controller, but he couldn't do it. So Andre Burakovsky, Ilya Lyubushkin falls down. It's really dangerous in behind Kel Clegg. And now Eric Comrie is just waiting toward the left side of the dot. Matty Beniers gets knocked down, but he makes a play on his wallet as he gets this one across the right side wall. Burakovsky trying to keep it alive. And now Asplund. Long outstretched pass. Here's a breakaway. Stopped by Jones. Or Philipp Grubauer, excuse me. Philipp Grubauer stops it. And this one, I want to make sure I get this right. Vinny Hinostroza was in on the break. And this was stopped by Grubauer. So for Grubauer, it is all of his 350 goals against her. There's somewhere thereabouts. This was a shot right down the middle between the circles. No moves there by Hinostroza. He just tried to set it up off the forehand and shoot. And it was a good save. Hooking call upcoming against Seattle. So penalties abound. Andre Burakovsky to the box, and Buffalo scores! Rasmus Dahlin gives the Swords the lead. It's a 2-1 lead for the Sabres. So right as the camera cut back, it was a face-off win. Rasmus Dahlin in between the circles. He is on one hell of a torrid pace, folks. No doubt about it. He certainly had his breakout. It's a pass that goes right to Dahlin off the face-off win. He's just going to walk in and fire. It's as simple as you like. That's it, and that's all. It was a little bit of a toe drag hold. He got his shot as he was getting closer toward the middle of the circles, but to be frank, he was in the high slot. And he wired that one toward the right side bar and in. That was a heat-seeking missile, and it gave the Sabres a 2-1 lead. 13 goals for Dahlin. He's tied for a career high. And we still got a whole hell of a lot more to play. We've got about half of the season left. He could easily get to 20. So picked up now Kalak Poso. We'll try to get this one down. Will Borgen, Carson Soucy, they're out there right now. Borgen lost it in between the skates. This could be an opportunity here for Buffalo. That was tough. We'll get this one. As this is kept alive, Peyton Krebs tried to get his pass across. That got knocked away. And now over Bjorkström with his outstretched pass. Again, good active sticks by Matthias Samuelsson. He brings this one in. We'll get it back toward the right side of the wall in between the dots. And now Seattle. Yanni Gord. Tampa Bay Lightning product on Oliver Bjorkstrand. Leaves it here for Gord. Off the backhand. Good shot set up. But a good stop there by Eric Comrie. 13:58 left to go in the second. Let's go to a commercial break. Sabres just took a 2-1 lead. It'll be a good opportunity for me right now just to go ahead and get this goal typed in and get this stuff all set up for the story. So, second period. So, Seattle takes 2 straight penalties. Eberle and Burakovsky. It's as simple as you like here. It's a face-off one. Let me give you the primary. Jeff Skinner from Dylan Cozens. That's what they have right now.
UFC 283. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
We look at Brandon Janet and Alex Wenberg. But a lot goes back to the power play goal. Wenberg on the faceoff. It's a lost drive. And he calls it right here. You respect Tage Thompson's shot half the draw away. So Janet is going to have to play a little bit further out. Wenberg has a tough time getting out to the point after the lost draw, which allows Dahlin to step into that shot off his way into a great shooting position. It just shows again that the shot of 72, Tage Thompson, is respected. He scored so many times from that position. You have to be ready on the face-off.
Get back into this play-by-play here. Got all that stuff typed in during the break, so it'll be good setup for me for the story side. So Jokiharju will play this one off the right side boards, and now Buffalo will get back. It's on power. We'll get this one out. Benny Strohs are trying to race for it with Casey Milstead. As this gets kept in by power, just barely toward the right side line. They might want to look at that if Buffalo actually scores. So power stuck to the left side wall, trying to hold. Again, it's first and second picks respectively from a couple of years ago from the event products, but Owen Power's team's got the lead over Matty Beniers. It's a 2-1 lead for the Buffalo Sabres. So another good opportunity, like I said, even though I'm an Oakland University alum from Rogers Drills, Michigan, you get to watch 2 Michigan products play against each other on that side of the U event for Matty Beniers and Owen Power. And I've liked what I've seen on both sides. This game has been pretty good all the way across the board as well. So 13-12 up to go in this second. Hopefully we get an update as far as the fan that was hit by the puck. I know that there was some clapping and stuff. Hopefully everything else is okay. That happened very early in the second period. So hopefully we get some good news and I can relay that across when we get to it. We do talk about it. So Daniel Sprong. And now Eberle made the play from his knees as he just put this around the boards. But this is a chance now for the Buffalo Sabres. Again, they're all blue with the gold piping. We're going to go right to left in the second period. Seattle Kraken left to right. They're in the road whites with the black pants. Or navy. So, Matty Beniers. Nice setup. In between a couple backhand, we'll get it back. It's Beniers in full flight. Now off the windmill move, trying to pin Samuelson to the right side board. So full speed there for Matty Beniers. I like that effort. As this is picked up by Eberle. He's got Beniers with him if he wants. Eberle holds, shoots, and he fires it wide. And off of the mesh. 12-20 left to go in the second as we get a stop. It's a 2-1 lead for the Sabres. And let's give you your goal scores. If you're just joining me here, it was 1-1 game after one. Alex Tuch opened the scoring at 9:56 from Thompson and Skinner. Thompson made a great windmill dig toward the left side of the dot. He set up Tage Thompson with a backhanded 2-on-1 sauce. Put it in there. Jordan Eberle got a tip right off the power play at 18:52. And now Rasmus Dahlin off the power play opportunity from Jeff Skinner and Dylan Cozens at 5:12. That's the latest marker of this game. Got about 12 minutes left to go in the second. John is my name. We are commentating from Key Bank Center. I have the Seattle Kraken feed with John Forsland. It's a 2-1 lead for Buffalo. So Rasmus Asplund lost it as this goes back to Will Borgen. Borgen just going to put this around the wall. Picked up now by Buffalo as they'll quickly get this one down. It's interesting to see how these two teams are going to play directly off of a back-to-back for both of these squads. First time I've covered both of these teams. Good pass. This might be a race for the puck. There's going to be a chance off the slap shot that goes off the right side of the wall. It was an opportunity for one of the Kraken, but fired it way, way wide with no one else in front. But again, when you're in full flight trying to shoot, you're tired. You're probably going to miss. So Morgan Geekie gets this one down across the right side red line. And now some gets Jurgensen's will get this one down. As this gets picked up, Oliver Bjorkstrand trying to get chase. And this gets picked up here by Schultz. Schultz will settle it down. As Jamie Alexiak and Schultz are out there for Dave Hakstol's squad on the second line side. Schultz toward the right side. Wall tipped in front. Scores! Schultz sets up Yanni Gord right on the doorstep. Ties the game at 2. Very high-skilled goals that we've seen in this game. And a couple opportunities in between both of these goalies, I would say between Philipp Grubauer and now Eric Comrie there that was victimized. Great job by Schultz to just drive the right side of the boards and keep it alive off the forehand. Tipped right out in front, deflected quickly for Yanni Gord. Schultz to Gord, the Tampa Bay Lightning product, ties the game at dose. 2 goals, I would say, as I was mentioning these goalies just a couple minutes ago. You're not stopping those. You get power moves right in front of the net. There's no flybys. You get in the zone trying to make something happen. And good things will happen when you work hard. Tipped, and this one gets knocked away. Seattle just scored. Yanni Gord is 6th of the season. Got 5 of them on the road, so he likes the road life. As Comrie gets away from the trapezoid to play one, Yoki Haru couldn't find it. And now Victor Olofsson will get this one down. Tyson Yost. This one gets picked up here. Jaden Shorts will just rocket it down. And now Jared McCann, he got bodied there against Yoki Haru. And now Shorts tries to find it again as Alex Wennberg. The all-J line is out there right now between Jimmy Alexiak, Schwartz, everyone else. Like there's 4 of them outside there with Alex Wennberg. Yoki Haru still stuck in his zone. Then now Adam Larson will body off the puck. It's been an opportunity for Vince Dunn to touch up on the hybrid ice. He does. So Buffalo can't make personnel changes. Seattle just scored, and they want to continue to build on this momentum. Let's talk about it again, just as we get a little bit of stoppage before we get the offensive zone draw. I'll scroll up in my notes. So Seattle, 10-8-2 at Climate Pledge. They're 13-4-2 at home on the road on that side of it. So 10-8-2 at home, 13-4-2 on the road. That's one of the very best records we have in the league. Shot gets tipped toward the right side wall. Will Borgen will get this now to keep it alive off the back end. He's just going to put it around the inboards. And now Andre Burakovsky, former Colorado Avalanche man, who just won. Burakovsky get this one. Carson Soucy with a short side shot. Missed the right side post. Matty Beniers. Set it up now. Burakovsky. Patient. Burakovsky again. He whistled the shot, but it went right into the stomach of Eric Comrie. 9:41 left to go in the second. Seattle has tied it. Yanni Gord is the man. 2-2.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin supplement brand.
92% of households that kick off the year with Peloton are still active a year later. Yeah, actively using it as a coat rack.
Congrats on 50 ride!
Okay, but it's still just a fact.
Just an elitist fitness club. Come on, Dad, I know this isn't easy, but we got this.
You'll give up eventually.
Seriously? 92%.
92% stick with it. So can you. Start a 30-day home trial today. Terms apply.
Hate it when a car freshener hits you with an overwhelming blast of perfume? Febreze car vent clips work differently. Febreze gives you consistent freshness that starts just right and stays just right. For 40 days, upgrade to Febreze car.
The game has never been better. That is hockey.
UFC 283. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Kelly Moore, the finish on a brilliant scoring play initiated by Justin Schultz, my partner. Such a pro. JT has a new pop down yelling, backdoor, all the way.
I was talking to Ryan Shaver hitting the top back, just trying to go in at that moment. Backdoor. They didn't hear me. It was the obvious play. That's what I'm going with. It's not my smarts. They made a great play with the backdoor. Yanni with a good drive and a quick pass. Good finishing. All around good play. Using that speed for the neutral zone.
Good hockey play.
Every now and then it works out where I say something that happens.
What did you think? Out of the corner now.
It's a 2-2 game now. Yanni Gord, as we check back in here with you, he has the latest one. Seattle and Buffalo. It's the first time covering these two. It is John on here with you on the play-by-play as this one gets blasted off the 1T, and McCann is slow off of that left leg as he took a big-time heavy blast off the 1T. What I was going to say is we're at KeyBank Center. It's a 2-2 game. Both of these teams put off the back-to-back. And I expected a lot of goals right now. It was coming in at 6.5, and even off the back-to-back, you had situations in goaltending in between Philipp Grubauer and Eric Comrie. Again, Eric Comrie hasn't played about 15 starts on that side of it, where he's coming off of injury. They sent down Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen because you can do that on the HL side because on the two-way, you don't have to give up another forward or a D-man. So that's why they sent him down, put him down to Rochester. So on that side of it for Dan Granato, you think you got three goaltenders that you can work with, and you need to give Eric Comrie some burn. So they do that. Philipp Grubauer playing up the back-to-back after the Martin Jones shutout. So he had some potential for goals because both these goalies about a 370 goals against. So it's a 2-2 game right now. 8:55 left to go in the second frame. And we'll see who ends up taking this one. It's picked up now toward the left side of the red line. Buffalo trying to find it in the offensive end as they're just pinned to the left side of the red line on the boards. This gets sent around and now sent in deeper. Picked up as Grubauer holding on to the right side post. This goes back to Owen Power. And there from Samuelson. Power tried to go right in himself, tried to shoot off of the forehand, and overskated it barely. Was one of the Eli Tolvanen. Again, in 5 games, 5 points for Tolvanen as he was just called up. Oliver Bjorkstrand off of the long outstretched pass dropping for Tolvanen. It gets blocked. It's going to go right to Yanni Gord. Unita had a wicked pass that was going through the middle of the slot, but just an active stick check there by Buffalo. We'll knock it away. 8:05 thereabouts left to go in this second. I'm watching the feed from Kraken side on ESPN Plus on Root Sports, trying to lay this to you on the YouTube and Twitter Spaces side first. So thank you guys for following along. This is Kel Clegg. We'll get this one now on Power, usually out there right now. This is what they got for Granato squad. This is picked up here by Zemgus Girgensson. Girgenssen's now put this across low to high. Clegg, Power. As this one gets tipped, this gets grabbed out of the air. And I think they're going to call this for a hand pass or attempted one at that. 7:40, they'll get it on Colic post. So no penalty. It's going to be a face-off, probably in the neutral zone. As we get a stoppage with 7:40 tied at dose. So I am watching, and I am wearing my custom Matty Beniers jersey, courtesy of my broadcast partner, Cooper Hopkins. Again, we can talk about that when he ever comes in this broadcast. Maybe I'll see him in the third. Who knows? What ends up happening on that side. But his check is in the mail. I got this a few days early. I was anticipating getting this today. So I'm anticipating he's going to get the check either today or tomorrow. This is the California side for the Postal. Is very hit and miss, so I hope that ends up working out. But I sent it directly to where he sent it to me on Instagram for the address, so I hope he gets it soon. So picked up by Matthias Samuelsson. He put this a lot of the inboards now. Now this is a race for the puck. Victor Olofsson will get to it now. Olofsson, stop on a dime, put this across there for Middlestad. He's just pinned. And behind the office of Philipp Grubauer. 8 shot to 3 as far as blocks. Seattle's got that lead there, 14 hits to 10. Seattle leads there as well in this 2-2 tie. This with the 6:55 marker in the middle frame. It's a good contest right now, Target 2. Matty Beniers trying to win the race. He cannot. As this is picked up. On power. Gets this one here to Casey Middlestad. Will safely clear the red line. Get this one down. Philipp Grubauer take no chances. He'll touch this one with the stick as this goes to Jaden Shorts, former St. Louis Blues man. Shorts almost overskated it. He had to look back and see where the puck was. Almost was a turnover, but on power. U of M will pick this up now. It's on power, Matty Beniers. Top 2 picks from a couple of years ago. As this goes back to Will Borgen. Will Borgen, it's dangerous. And behind the office, it was shoulder to side by Grubauer. Another shot in tight. As Tuch just missed the net. It was a turnover there through the traffic by Borgen, but there was too many Sabres around him. And now the Sabres for 4 straight shots. Power faked it as Yoki Haru. And now Power will collect. Get this one across here for Tuch. Tuch holds, and Seattle will finally get a piece of it as Philipp Grubauer had to do a little bailout for his defense there, but I don't really blame Will Borgen. It was just a dangerous pass there by the forwards. It was a 1-on-3. He couldn't win that race. So Buffalo tries to get this, but they're clear. Goes off of Carson Soucy. And pick it back up now. Outstretched pass. As Seattle will try to chip and chase this one as Turbo will chip and chase, hit this off the inboards. Picked up now by Daniel Sprong as the 4th line's out there for Dave Hakstol's squad as this bounces away from Tage. And now Buffalo. Nice pass off the inboards. It's Kalak Poso. He's the captain nowadays. Sprong. He's all alone toward the right side, and he got canceled off by Hinostroza at the last moment. He didn't shoot right away. Sprong tries to get this around here for Turbo. Tanev trying to pick this up with the help of Sprong. But now here comes Buffalo. And now Rasmus Asplund. This gets knocked away by the stick of Grubauer and a long outstretched pass by Larson. This brings Sprong again off the backhand. Sprong between the circles. His 5-hole shot gets denied. So a couple opportunities there for Daniel Sprong. I think he's got to be a little bit more definitive on those, if we're going to be honest. Dylan Cozens toward the backhand. Now trying to windmill toward the middle of the circles. That gets knocked away. Loose puck battle. This one is won by Seattle. And the white jerseys will get this one across. Yanni Gord driving off the backhand. He blows a tire. Rasmus Dahlin got in his way. This stays there for Justin Schultz. Schultz will get this as pinned to the right side boards as Eli Tolvanen. This still stays in there for Seattle. 4 minutes left. Here's a bomb. This one's get deflected. Jurgensen's got a piece of it. This is still with the Kraken, however. Eli Tolvanen trying to find this here for Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin off the forehand. He will calmly play this one. Ilya Labushkin as they mix their defensive lines. Zemgus will get this one down as this goes now to the Seattle Kraken. Jordan Eberle has a piece of it, and now Zemgus will get a long pass. This one gets knocked down by a couple of Kraken skates. Buffalo's trying to find it as well. As now this toast Matthias Samuelsson. He lost it. Matty Beniers will go back in defensive end to help. Good responsible defensive game for Matty Beniers. That's what I've noticed a lot. And now set up here for Soucy. Cross pass in the high slot. Beniers just watching to make sure that he needs to be able to help any of his defensive forwards as it goes back to Samuelsson. Samuelsson will take a long look. Going to leave it here for Rasmus Asplund. And now this goes to Middlestad. Vince Dunn in his way. It's in the offensive office here for Buffalo. They're trying to make something happen. Is Grubauer taking a look toward the right side of the wall. Jaden Shorts lost it. And now Peyton Krebs off the backhand. Going to get this across the wall. Back to Samuelsson. Get this in deep. Carson Soucy trying to find it. It gets loose in the high slot, but Olofsson can't find the rebound. He's got to skate for it. It would have been an open net for the Sabres. Olofsson set it up there for Samuelsson. Bomb. And that one goes just wide. Still kept in, though. Olofsson doing yeoman's work there with Tyson Yost. And now Matty Beniers' pass. Goes off of the skate on Middlestad. Beniers will get this down deep, though. He never stopped moving as this touches the stick of Samuelson. So Samuelson's been out there for about 2.5 minutes right now on the defensive side. Alex Tuch, his pass gets deflected off of one of the Sabres, so no ice. And Kraken will get this all the way down. Good outstretched pass toward the left side wall for Jaden Shorts. They got canceled out by Rasmus Dahlin. That was a definitive backhand pass. This could be a breakout opportunity. Dylan Cozens able to ride that blue line. Tage Thompson fires quickly, gets it back, and a deflected opportunity got fanned on. Philipp Grubauer, the puck is sitting and spinning. Cross pass, Grubauer with the diving save toward the right side of the wall as they jam away at it. But Dahlin gets denied. And now there's some pushing and shoving as the refs have to kind of set this aside as it's Jeff Skinner. I don't know who the other two are there right now. Jeff Skinner's out there with Tuch, but Skinner and Tanev. It's Turbo and Skinner that are doing some pushing and shoving. Skinner couldn't hold it right away, and to take an extra beat allowed Philipp Grubauer to make the diving save toward the right side of the red line, and it also bounced off the post before he got a piece of it. Come right back. We'll finish up the second.
Seriously? 92%. 92% stick with it. So can you. Rent a Peloton bike or Bike Plus. Terms apply. For bathroom odors that linger, try these small spaces.
I appreciate you guys if you're still sticking around on the YouTube side. Humbly appreciate the likes and everything else as well. Again, I will say that all the time. Anytime I end up doing these broadcasts, is your first time following along. I also apologize I can't give you any of the YouTube video because it'd be demonetized. Not that I have a lot of subscribers or anything else, but I always do give the play-by-play side no matter what we cover, whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, college, anywhere in the mix. I cover all those sports. I haven't covered an NFL game because I just don't know enough to do the play-by-play side. And soccer would be the same way for me. But hopefully, as we go along, maybe it can brighten some of my other horizons. But it's nice, at least on this side, to cover Seattle and Buffalo, two teams I haven't covered yet. We'll take a look around the league when we get to the second intermission. As I expected, now look at the Jets. They've pretty much come all the way back against the Red Wings, a 4-3 game now. So that's not going to last too much longer. I know Cooper Hopkins, he's locking a tight tilt with his team with the Calgary Flames and the Blues to 1-1. It's going to be a home and home for the St. Louis Blues. So the Flames will get to stay in St. Louis for a few days as they play today on Tuesday. They play again on Thursday, I believe. As the Flames are continuing to try to keep their point streak alive and keep that playoff positioning in the Pacific Division. I'll use another cough drop and get to the third period side of it. I want to just ration those out as we go along. If you want the clear audio side, if it's not just the YouTube side for you, you can follow along at John Ryan on Twitter Spaces. I'm on the Seattle Kraken Sabres broadcast. So it's a 2-2 game. It's 4-on-4 offsetting, as you would expect. So it'd be Turbo and Skinner in the box for Seattle and Buffalo, respectively. So minute 47 left to go thereabouts on the 4-on-4. So about 10 seconds of 4-on-4 going to the third period, when we get to that point. So Adam Larson will get this across as this gets picked up here by Rasmus Dahlin. Expertly using the body and the forehand to just hold that stick away. And now this will go back. Dahlin will take his time. We'll see how dangerous Buffalo can be on the 4-on-4 side. I think with these high-scoring defensemen, they just didn't stay on side. Olofsson was offside. Dahlin had an entry. I was going to say there between Dahlin and Thompson, wherever you want to throw out there, that's some high-powered utility as far as ammunition that you can use. And the 4-on-4 situation, I think that might be an advantage for Buffalo. That's just me. I think John Forslund just said on the broadcast side of it that Seattle has yet to score a 4-on-4 game when they're a team that gets it done by committee. Tage Thompson and Dahlin can do a lot of the heavy lifting, so that'd be my guess. So Beniers will win the draw, and this will give Seattle puck possession with a minute left to go in this second. We are tied at dose. It's been a good game right now. Both of these teams just played last night. Seattle got a 4-0 win over the Montreal Canadiens, and Buffalo lost to the Philadelphia Flyers, who all of a sudden starting to get hot again, 4-0 on that side. So a pair of fours. Seattle's been excellent on the road, and we're going to see if they can continue that. And Buffalo's been pretty average at key big center, but we're doing the play-by-play right now. Power. Try to gain the entry right now as Beniers was getting in his way. So it was Power versus Beniers. That's pretty fun to watch on that side. Beniers got worked off the puck, but he was able to get around Power and Middlestat to take it away. So good work there by Matty. That's why we got the jersey on. So this is picked up now by Jamie Alexiak off the backhand. He's circling him behind the office, and a short side shot there by Beniers, but that got answered by Eric Comrie. And now here's a rush with 10 seconds left to go. Tage Thompson, go to the forehand, now goes back to the D. Rasmus Dahlin set this one up. Thompson, Dahlin, extra move. That was salty. Buffalo going to run out of time, though. They don't know it. It's 2-2 at the end of 2. 10 seconds left to go on this 4-on-4 when we come back. We'll take a look around the league in a moment. I'll get you a reset. Come back for the third. So let's do that reset now, shall we? Before I'll take another bathroom break and get set up right now. So it was 1-1 after 1. It's 2-2 after 2. Pair of goals on both sides. So in the second period, it was Rasmus Dahlin on the power play from Jeff Skinner and Dylan Cozens. So Seattle took 2 straight penalties. Eberle and Burakovsky got sent to the box. It was clear. It was day. It was a face-off win. Rasmus Dahlin able to walk in, skate near the high slot just before the 2 circles, snipe and score off of a singular toe drag, and then put it toward the right side of the post, toward the middle side. It was a perfect shot with power and placement. Rasmus Dahlin gave Buffalo temporarily a 2-1 lead, and then Seattle came back to score and tie the game at dose. Justin Schultz made an excellent play along the left side wall, able to just hold on the forehand, pin his body against there, use his body, protect, unlike the EA hockey games when you can't do that and you lose the puck too much. As he drove to the net, it was a backdoor pass. Yanni Gore never stopped moving. It was his 6th of the season, and I'll put this in my notes while it's fresh in my head, 5th on the road. So he likes playing on the road. He's only got 1 goal at Climate Pledge. So it is, let's count it here, 4 penalties for the Kraken, 2 for the Sabres.
UFC 283. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
And then Buffalo only took 2 penalties, 1 in the first and 1 in the second. So Seattle's power play, let me do this again for the notes. 1 for 2. And Buffalo, the shots were 7-7 after the first. Let's see where they are now. Let's take another look at it. It's 17-15 in favor of Buffalo. Let me use the bathroom really quick, and then we'll give you a look around the league. Thank you for sticking with me. I'll be right back. Just give me a couple moments. Takes me like a little extra minute there with the cerebral palsy. That's why you got to use the elliptical and all that. It's good, especially when you have a little bit of a cold.
The official run partner of the Seattle Kraken. Buffalo, New York stopped 5 of 7 for the Kraken on the season-long road trip. Through 2 periods of play, the Kraken and Sabres tied at 2 and Nick. The Buffalo goal number 2, the first in the second period, coming from Rasmus Dahlin.
Yeah, we beat the drum coming into the game about how red hot this power play is. That they have a lot of different players that can generate and score. A little miscommunication off the draw. Whoever gets caught behind Jamie Alexiak, and in my eyes, that is a shot that Philipp Grubauer has to have. Not like there's a lot of bodies in front, a little bit of a moving screen, but a couple of massive saves. I counted 5 or 6 huge stops in that second period, including that one right there, traversing the crease from one post all the way to the other to make one save, and then a couple others as well. Philipp Grubauer. Now, granted, Jeff Skinner doesn't get a whole heck of a lot on that shot, but the movement and the battle level and the relentlessness.
All right, so let's do a little bit of a scoring reset. I feel like I can at least maybe go in between the second period if they're not all at the same time.
It very well could be a 5-3 or a 5-4 game in favor of Buffalo, considering some of the chances that the Kraken had as well.
Keep in mind, it is Gruby's first action since December 30th, and in that game that he started,
Pull up our box as well.
So he's been sitting out
one more time. So about 30 seconds left to go in the second. The Red Wings have a 5-3 lead over the Winnipeg Jets. Surprised they got 5 on Connor Hellebuck, but indeed that's the case. Just 7:06. So the Walled Lake netminer of the local side, he's not been doing very well. And that's a surprise because he's a Vezina candidate for a reason. Connor Hellebuck's always very good. So 4 goals in the first period to tell you about. Jake Wallman, Jonathan Berggren, Oscar Sundqvist had a 3-0 lead for the Red Wings. Then the Jets started to come back a little bit. It was Neil Pionk from Mark Scheifele and Cole Perfetti. Dominic Kubalik with his 13th of the season made it 4-1. But the Jets, again, they pressed. Former Red Wings Sam Gagner from David Gustafsson and Axel Johnson-Falvey, and Nate Schmidt from Cole Perfetti and Blake Wheeler. Dylan Larkin as the latest, the Red Wings captain, 14th on the power play for Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond, both with their 15th apple on the year. It is now a 3-3 tie. Let me see if this flips back up. Yes, it does. So that just updated with 34 seconds as well. So we're not going to get any live look-ins, unfortunately. It was a 1-1 game after 1. It was Jesperi Kotkaniemi shorthanded from Marty Natchez. Jonas Siegenthaler with his second. Doug Hamilton and Nico Hischier tied the game at 1. Then a pair of goals again in the second. It was 2 unanswered. Max Pacioretty, he's been hot since coming off the injured list. He's got 3 goals in 2 games. Aho from Shea and Sebastian Aho shorthanded. So 2 shorthanded goals for the Carolina Hurricanes to give them their 3. 2 of them were shorthanded. Dawson Mercer and Jesper Boquist were tying it up here for New Jersey. And that was from David Siverson and Ryan Graves, Dawson Mercer and Michael McLeod. It is a 2-2 tie between the Wild and the Rangers. So all these games have been very contested. So I'm glad that I picked one of the ones that was still very contested. It was John Merrill with his second, and Kirill Kaprizov. Kirill, the Thrills, got 24. Gave Minnesota a 2-0 lead after 1. But here come the Rangers. They scored the next 2 goals in that second as they go to the third. Keandre Miller from Junior BC and Adam Fox, and then this is a goal at 15:50. Net minors are Igor Shesterkin. He's made 21 out of 23 stops for a 9.13. Marc-Andre Fleury, excellent, 29 saves out of 31, 9.35. Penguins, they were down 3-0, and now they're up 5-3 on the Canucks. It was 3 unanswered goals to start for Vancouver. Connor Garland, Brock Besser, and Quinn Hughes. And then it was all Pittsburgh. Evgeny Malkin, Sidney Crosby, Jason Zucker, Malkin, and Ricard Raquel. Malkin's got 25 assists. Malkin has 14 goals. Sidney Crosby, 21 goals. Let's see if he's got any other points in this game. I don't believe he does. It's just the 1 goal for Sid. Just 1 goal for Sid right now in a 5-3 game. Stars and Islanders tied at uno. It is Jason Robertson with his 29th. Boy, is he good. Robo is ridiculous. And Anders Lee is 15th on the power play. The latest one was at 13:39. There were no goals in the second so far. That is, let's see, that is 11:11. So that would be the live look-in again that we do. The Stars game is really the only one that we can catch at that time. The Lightning have a 3-1 lead over the Blue Jackets, as you would expect. They want to continue to keep pace in the Atlantic. Gavin Bayreuther has the only goal for Columbus, his second. It was Nikita Kucherov and Nick Paul in the first, with Vlad Nemestikov, former Red Wings star, whatever you want to talk about. Lightning, he's been there before with the Lightning. He's on his second stint. Vlad Nemestikov with his third. Nikita Kucherov's got 15 goals, and let's look at this. I know it's not updated. So he's got 15 goals, and he's got 41 assists, tied for second. He's having an incredible year. The 29-year-old is having a career year right now as far as assists are concerned. Elvis Merzlikin's given up 3. He's stopped 30 shots at 2. Andre Vasilevsky, easy night so far, 12 out of 13, as his team leads 3-1. Let's take a look at my broadcast partner squad, as it's a 2-1 lead for the Calgary Flames. You might be watching that one. Pavel Buchnevich on the power play from Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas. St. Louis had a 1-0 lead. Calgary still in the midst of that road trip. Milan Lucic with his fourth. Nazem Kadri and Jonathan Huberdeau. And then Michael Backlund from Nikita Zadorov and Andrew Mangiapane. Makes it a 2-1 lead for Calgary after 1 period of play. I know some people have asked me in the comments section, when's the next time that Cooper and I are going to be covering a Flames game? It may not be this week, but I promise you, let me look into the schedule in the hourglass. I'll do that right now. It may not be this week, but I think it's going to be next week. They have a couple of good matchups there that I want to get a prize to. And I know the Red Wings will probably be out of it at that point by the time they hit February, but the Flames and the Red Wings will meet twice in February off back-to-back weeks. It'll be an opportunity for both of us to cover both of our teams in the same game, kind of poke some fun, mix off the play-by-play and the color, and have a good time. Let me pull up the Flames schedule so I can tell you that, and for prosperity purposes, because I know they're on the road right now. You have the back-to-back against St. Louis. They're in the middle of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-game road stand. So our next opportunity, we could cover the Nashville game Monday at 8, or we could cover the Colorado game next week at 9:30. These are Eastern, so 8 o'clock Eastern Monday, Nashville. Wednesday, Colorado Avalanche. I would definitely want to get on both of those. I think he'd probably be good to do either one of those. The Dallas game on Saturday would be cool, but that's 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 11 Pacific for him, so no way we're going to be able to do that. But Nashville and Colorado next week, between 8 Eastern and 9:30 Eastern. Between Nashville and Colorado for the Flames. Monday and Wednesday probably our next times that we can hook up a good broadcast. Following week, that's Columbus, Chicago, and Seattle. If Cooper really wanted to do the Flames game at home, that's Johnny Gaudreau making the home debut. He might want to do that one and ask me if he does, and I say yes. But after that next week, it'll be Detroit and Detroit the next 2 weeks. Those are the ones we'll get at least on one of those. So following week, I'll say Nashville, Colorado. So there'll be some upcoming ones that'll be good. The Columbus one I'll have to do for him because Johnny Gaudreau, that's his guy. And now he's in Columbus after he was being one of those ones that could have retired as a Calgary Flame. He took the money. He said he wanted to win in Columbus. You don't really win in Columbus right now. And I'm not saying that as a slight for my rival neighbor across the state borders as far as Michigan side for me and Ohio for everybody else. But Columbus, they need Connor Bedard. I know that there's a lot of teams that need it. I don't think a lot of people would want them to get it, but they need something because that franchise, ever since that they've been here, they're bad. You can make fun of the Red Wings all you want right now as far as the rebuild side of it, and I can take it. But I wish there was a history of winning there. There's not a history of winning in Columbus. So anytime that they would troll the Red Wings account and say, we couldn't even beat the people of Ohio, shut your mouth. And so I know I probably got 2 out of 3 votes now. I know it's not a popular question. I apologize. So the Kraken or the Sabres, you got 2 teams. I said, did either one of them make the playoffs this year? And you guys say yes. 2 out of 3 say yes. I think you probably have a better shot of the Kraken to make the playoffs because they have games in hand and they're in the Pacific, which is an easier road. However, with the Sabres winning 8 out of 10 over the last stretch, you keep on doing that, you're going to make that push and you're going to get in. And that's the way it looks like right now. They can continue. It's interesting to see how these 2 teams play off the back-to-back.
UFC 283. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
So we'll keep you alive for this 3rd period here, and then if we go to OT, we go to OT. But my game story is going to be at hopelesssportsguide.wordpress.com. That was the first thing that's pinned in the comments section, alongside this custom Matty Beniers that courtesy of my broadcast partner. And yes, I did pay for it. He's going to be hopefully getting his check in the next couple of days. I wasn't supposed to get this until today. It arrived a few days early, so I wanted to do that for this broadcast. I'm very proud U of M man, even though I graduated from Oakland University as far as the athletic side of it, so I can wear this around Yoast without people throwing beer at me. I'm going to take a quick look here as far as how many minutes we got left. So I'm going to keep it locked here because we're under 1:30. So we're going to be starting the 3rd period very, very soon. It's going to be about 10 seconds of 4-on-4. But it's a 2-2 tie. 17-14 on the shots in favor of the Swords, the Sabres. Sometimes they like wearing those reverse retros of the Buffalo head on the Stampede side. Those are nice jerseys. Honestly, I didn't really think I liked them as much as a kid when I was a kid. I like those now. I really do. I think they look nice. On the Buffalo Sabres side of it, I like the standard one with the Swords too. They got some nice jerseys. I think Seattle, I mean, I like this navy for Seattle Kraken. Those are nice. Obviously, you can't really, as far as me with the original 6 squad with the Redmonds, you can't really mess with the wing wheel. I prefer the white myself. As far as that, I wish they'd have the white at home and the red on the road like they used to. But, you know, those are the Western Conference days, you know, when I grew up into it. And like Cooper Hopkins says, I know he's very biased as far as his team and his jerseys, but Calgary's got some nice ones too. I like those reds. A lot of good ones. I can't really think of some jerseys that I don't like. I guess the only thing I would say, if I was Vegas, I would have kept the initial colors there that they had instead of changing some of these other golds with these crazy helmets. Their initial ones were great. So Taco Bell takes Seattle rookie all-stars. How about this? Matty Beniers, Julio Rodriguez, and Tariq Woolen all began their careers in 2022 and named all-stars. First metro area, they have 4 North American sports and have 3 of the rookies make the honor. Pretty sweet. Seahawks are going to have a very tough test. I know that's my broadcast partner's team too because he's a proud Seattleite, but he does like the Calgary Flames. Grew up with it with his parents. But on that side, Seattle fan as well for him, but he's got the Seahawks against the 49ers. It's going to be very tough. So we got about 10 seconds of 4-on-4 time as we're getting close to the 3rd period puck drop, and now it's underway. And we'll see what ends up happening now. It's a 2-2 tie between these teams. John out here with you, commentating on the feed via the Seattle Kraken feed for Root Sports because I like John Forslund on that side. We're at the KeyBank Center there in Buffalo. There's about half the crowd now, I would say, as they're still trying to file into their seats. Probably about 70% sold here. Alex Tuch trying to keep this alive. He'll peel back instead. Give it now here to Owen Power, Michigan man. So Owen Power, many Beniers over the last couple. So Yanni Gord, pick it up. But now this goes back to Matthias Samuelsson, Tage Thompson with his outstretched pass. They'll find Owen Power. One of the Sabres just falls down in auspiciously. This goes back toward the Seattle Kraken as they're in their own end right now. Yanni Gord, who's wearing the A on his chest, as this is picked up. Seattle going to take their time in their own end. And we got past the first minute of this third, tied at 2. 17 shots to 14. Andre Burakovsky gains the entry. 1-on-4. Trying to keep this alive off the forehand side. Good. Sauce pass to Dunn. Off the left side of the post. And now it's in. Matty Beniers. That's why you wear the jersey. 3-2 lead. Boy, that's cool for me to actually be able to call that. And the first time that we've done a Seattle Kraken game, Matty Beniers scores the goal. That was a good setup by Andre Burakovsky. It was a 1-on-4. He was patient toward the left dot. Vince Dunn got a pass in the high slot. Matty Beniers stayed in the dirty areas. He got the rebound that went off the left side of the bar. And he gets the Kraken a go-ahead goal right now. And if Cooper Hopkins was in here, I'm sure he would have a smile across his face and he'd be throwing some extra words. It's a shame that he's not, because Beniers just scored a big goal in the first time that we ended up doing a broadcast of these two teams. It's been a lot of fun, I can tell you that. I could definitely see him between Seattle and Buffalo. These could be a pair of playoff teams. At least one of them is definitely going to make it, I would think. So Okposo keeps us alive for Peyton Krebs, Vegas product. As this goes low to high, this goes off the shaft of the stick. Jorgensen gets denied by Philipp Grubauer, as this is picked up by Matty now. Toward the forehand side. Matty Beniers stuck in behind his own office as he's picked up now. Gains the entry toward the right side wall. He's still with it now. He's going to get in the offensive end. He's just going to put this pass. And Eric Comrie, you're going to take no chances. So good 200-foot game for Matty Beniers. Not only did he just score the goal, he got the entry from the defensive side. Got a shot in on net. Is going to give Seattle Kraken an offensive zone draw upcoming. So very cool to be able to actually do that on that side. I know maybe some people on the YouTube side don't care too much. I know it's one of those things where don't want to show too much fandom. But again, like I said earlier, you want to go ahead and try to get a jersey that is going to stay there on one team. So I hope that that's going to be the case, because really only other jersey I got Stevie Y and sitting in the closet. I know that's lofty praise. Good chance straight away, bouncing puck. And Grubauer answers the call as he denied Victor Olofsson and tight. So Victor Olofsson, the one thing I'll say with that, he couldn't hold on to that backhand. It was a flubbing puck. It was bouncing between his skates. He was all over the slot, but he just couldn't lift it. He just couldn't really corral it. And Grubauer able to stay straight. He didn't move. He didn't make any extra movement. They'd save. 3-2 lead for Seattle. Trying to go 5-0 so far in the 7-game homestand. So with that goal, Matty Beniers is the first rookie to score in 5 straight road games in over 5 years. Brock Besser was the last to do that. Very cool. So Olofsson blocked. Another one. Good job by Carson Soucy just to get back to deny Peyton Krebs. And now Jaden Shorts with the help of McCann. Shorts toward the right side wall. As this is picked up, Krebs gets this one to Yost, and I had to make sure I put that in my story because it's a big time one at that. So middle step, as this was a cross pass, this gets canceled off. Olofsson trying to find it as well as Jaden Shorts is there. 33 points this season for Matty Beniers, leads all rookies. As this goes in the corner, trying to get picked up. Jimmy Alexiak trying to get to it and trying to be kept off the body there by Buffalo. Trying to keep it alive, but it gets away. Now into the neutral zone as it goes across the swords and dumped in across the red line. It's a 3-2 lead now for the Kraken. They're at KeyBank Center. They're trying to get back-to-back wins and back-to-back nights. Same thing for the Sabres. They want to get a win off the back-to-back that they're playing. So it's interesting to see how these two teams play. It's been a good contest. This one gets blocked off Grubauer. But now it goes in the high slot. Settled down. As this goes, Owen Power trying to set up and blocked off of one of the Buffalo Sabres, who was stunned. That was Alex Tuch. That got hit off the leg. And now here's an entry for Oliver Bjorkstrand, but he needs some help from his friends. Yanni Gord. He does the windmill deke. Off the left side of the wall, Carson Soucy sets it up through the screen. That one goes wide to the right side of the wall, as that was tipped by Turbo. Yanni Gord tries to get this one back to Soucy now, toward the right side wall. Gord still with it. Yeoman's work. Owen Power, he turns it over. He wasn't looking, and Gord fans on it. Man, that was an opportunity for the Kraken, and a poor pass for Owen Power, as he almost gave up a goal. Oliver Bjorkstrand trying to get a piece of it, and Dahlin will try to settle. He's just going to flutter this one down the ice. That was Yoki Haru. This is going to be icing. So Buffalo's got to be tired. They've been out there for a long time. Seattle already was. Oliver Bjorkstrand couldn't get off the ice because there was too many offensive opportunities in front of him. As it was set up with the help of Bjorkstrand and Turbo to Gord. They're right there. Have a chance to make it 4-2. But that was just missed. It couldn't be corralled. So 3-2 is your score line. Buffalo leads on the shot board 22-18, but Seattle's got the edge on the scorecard on. As Seattle gets it in deep, big time effort off the one-timer, jamming away at it. It was Daniel Sprong, but Eric Comrie holds on to the right post. He wanted that whistle. I think he's going to get it. 15:39 left to go in this third. John out here with you in the play-by-play. We're watching ESPN Plus from Root Sports and John Forslund. We're watching this from the KeyBank Center. So full game coverage you're going to follow at hopelessportsguide.wordpress.com alongside with the broadcast. So this has just the game in it, so you won't get any extracurricular if you want to listen to it. Anytime you want to get to the podcast. So Hopeless Sports Guy, you can find that anywhere you get your podcasts. So Daniel Sprong tries doing the draw. Sprong will get a piece of it. Tanev can't get to it. Rasmus Dahlin will get this one for Asplund. And now this is a race for Vinny Hinostroza. Asplund's shot gets blocked. It takes a fortuitous bounce. Dahlin. That was a stick that was broken. That was Sprong. He got shattered right in half. He's got to go to the bench to get a new twig. This is a race for the right side wall. It was a collision with Matthias Samuelsson. Here come the Sabres. They're going to be going left to right in this third. Cozens trying to set it up. What a backhanded pass opportunity, but Hinostroza's was a little too hard. They couldn't find one of the teammates. Buffalo, again, they're in the all-blue jerseys with the gold piping. They're going to be on left to right. Seattle Kraken in the road whites with the navy pants. They're going to go right to left. They get the steal. Kept in by Jamie Alexiak toward the right side wall. Seattle. Sprong set it up, and the one-timer scores! Schultz, 4-2, Seattle. So Matty Beniers with Justin Schultz. And now Seattle is off and running, just like John Forslund likes to say. That was a great setup. That was in the high slot. Alexiak keeps it in. They move it around the horn. Eberle, Beniers, and Schultz with the 1T. Waiting in the middle of the right circle. Makes it a 4-2 lead for Seattle. And in our open notes, I said this during this stretch of time where Seattle has had their 5 straight wins. They're looking for 6. They're looking for 5 straight on the road. 23-2-3 record when 3+ goals are scored. And they've been averaging 4. And Buffalo has been doing much of the same. So we expect a lot of goals. The over-unders at 6.5. We're still at the under right now, but the next one's going to tip it. Olofsson, as in the high slot, Casey Middlestat. Not Olofsson into the screen. Grubauer trying to hold on the left post. He will. Carson Soucy comes together with Casey Middlestat, now Borgen and Yost. And there was some words that there was a little extra forecheck in after the play that Buffalo took exception to, and I don't blame them. So the one thing, if you're Seattle, and that was Carson Soucy, he hit Yost right across the face. The one thing I will say, if you're Seattle, just like you can say for Buffalo, when you have the goalies at about a 370 goals against, you've got to limit the opportunities against them. And that's what both of these teams have done right now. But the opportunities that Seattle has had, they've had a lot of not flybys, right in the middle of the slot, right in the middle of the circle shots. It's been tough for Comrie to save. This is a tough assignment for Comrie after not playing about 20 games, something like that, to come back and play Seattle, who is honestly, and this isn't even laughable, I should have told you the record, they're one of the best teams on the road, and they score lots of goals, and they're confident. They have a good system. They play very well. And with games in hand as well, they could easily be leading that Pacific if they continue to do their damage, yes, over the Golden Knights. And that says it as perchance. With the 3 games that Vegas is ahead of, if the Kraken win all of those same games, they got the same amount of points as Vegas. So they really are a good team. Appreciate you guys following along on the YouTube side. Twitter Spaces, if you want clear audio, at John Ryanot, just like my YouTube handle side of it. So this is won by Buffalo in their own end. Buffalo now down by 2 goals, as this latest one was scored by Schultz. So picked up, Jimmy Alexiak trying to find it. Burakovsky will pin this across the wall. And Seattle will attempt to break out. It's a chip and chase to himself. It's going to be won by Jordan Eberle across the left side of the wall. It's going to get taken a seat by Rasmus Dahlin. Matty Beniers also in there, trying to poke it away. Push down, and this gets picked up by Justin Schultz. Schultz will spin. Now Jamie Alexiak hit this off the embankment, but it's kept in. Rasmus Dahlin looking for a tip pass. That was a sauce. Picked up by Seattle momentarily. Now it gets brushed out across the red line. 13-10 left to go in this third. John, here with him a call at the KeyBank Center. Watching on the Seattle Sports feed. Root Sports and Dylan Cozens had it sticked away by Philipp Grubauer as that puck almost fell right to him. Hybrid icing is one. Morgan Geeky can't get to it first. It's going to be a Buffalo offensive zone draw. 12:59 left in the third. So in this third, the only thing I can say for Buffalo, they've had a couple opportunities. That was Dylan Cozens on the doorstep, just couldn't handle the puck. There's been a couple of those that just bobbled away. It's hard to get a moving puck on ice, but I am no expert in that sense of it. But Seattle is starting to put a little bit of the pins in as far as defense. They're trying to stop Buffalo and get some chances, but Owen Power, he can change some of that with some of the shots, and so can Dahlin, and so can Thompson. You need those names. Picked up toward the right side wall, Vinny Hinostroza, as Philipp Grubauer was stuck out of his crease. Owen Power will take this D-to-D, fake the slapper. Great steal there by Morgan Geeky. To get a piece of it is Turbo, makes the outstretched pass, and that was a good dump down deep. 12:30 left to go in this third. Sabres need a couple goals. They're down 4-2. They're at home right now where they're just pretty much average at KeyBank. They're about 9-9-3, I believe, was the record. We'll pull that up after the commercial break, though, because I got the notes in front of me. Daniel Sprong will put this one. This gets fluttered. Nicely set up there for Jaden Shorts off of the foot passes. Grabbed with the hands and skated in. Jared McCann. Play this alongside the wall to Carson Soucy. Looking for the tip. McCann will watch this one go between his legs. He'll play this around the embankment just to create more space. Soucy will pinch in. McCann. And now Shorts. Shorts trying to get this alive along the right side wall. McCann just waiting for any kind of breakout. Now he's actually going to look to take a pinch to do a little bit of forechecking. The Seattle and Dave Hakstol squad will take a little bit of a change. Here's a chance for Middlestad. Lets the wrist shot go. Good save by Grubauer. A little bit flashy, but he needed to make it. 4-2. Go to a commercial break. 11:40 left. Seattle up 4-2. It's Matty Beniers and Schultz with the latest goals in the third. Let me just give you this quick reset as we talk about it. I have the recorder off now, but you guys can still hear me on the YouTube side. This is just for the story purposes. But what we have is Seattle, again, 13-4-2 on the road. As far as Buffalo Sabres record at home, they're just 9-9-2. So, I mean, that's really not that great. But they're 11-7 on the road, which is pretty good. So, Buffalo Sabres, they've been losing back-to-back games at home. And that's not what you want. So, we fast forward, and I'm just going to do this because we're in the middle of a commercial break. Excuse me. If we fast forward as far as what's upcoming, it's the Winnipeg Jets on Thursday and Nashville on Saturday. So this could be a 0-4 homestand for Buffalo after winning 8 of the last 10. You certainly can't have that. And Winnipeg, if they lose to the Detroit Red Wings today, they're really going to be motivated to kind of push that around. In Buffalo, they could be a team that's going to be the punching bag. And they haven't been the punching bag too much this year, except for early in the season. That's just one of those things I can say, inauspiciously. You got to be careful with that. So the Red Wings have taken a 6-4 lead. Boy, oh boy, is it a high-scoring game. Did Connor Hellebuck get pulled? I have to look at this now. So Connor Hellebuck's in, and he's in for all 6. He's only stopped 12 of 18. That is very poor. Ville Husso not been so great himself. 23 out of 27, 852. He's been not so great since coming back from the flu bug, I believe, is Ville Husso. Our game is 4-2. Again, the game story will follow a little bit later tonight. 3-3 between Devils and Hurricanes. 3-2 Wild Rangers. Wild in the lead. We're going to get back into the play-by-play here, and we'll get a little bit of a look and get another break. So defensive zone draw, they're won by the Seattle Kraken. Try to get this across the red line now. They got 11:30 left to go in this third. I've had a lot of fun doing this broadcast, I'll be honest with you. Again, I know it's the first time I cover these two teams, and it's not just because I'm wearing the jersey. It's two teams I've got a chance to look at this year. Want to look at the offensive power and see if they're playoff teams. And I've had a lot of fun enjoying this one. Just like it was a few weeks ago, I think, when it was Ottawa and the New York Islanders. That was a good one too. Two teams that I haven't covered. So I'm glad to get a chance to look at some of the teams I haven't really looked at. So Dahlin, and across the swords, we'll get this to Tage Thompson. Thompson's going to fight right in the stomach of Grubauer, make the save, and we're going to get a stop at 11:02. So 23 shots to 20 in favor of the Sabres, but it's a 4-2 lead for the Kraken. If we do a quick scoring reset, I don't have time to do that. It was Alex Tuch and Jordan Eberle. It was 1-1 after 1, 2-2 after 2, Rasmus Dahlin and Yanni Gourde. But it's been two straight goals for the Seattle Kraken between Matty Beniers and Justin Schultz to give Seattle a 4-2 lead. Seattle and Matty Beniers, first rookie to score a goal in 5 straight games since Brock Besser did it for the Vancouver Canucks. Seattle trying to go 5-0 on this 7-game road trip, and that is not lightly, even for a program just in its second year. That's how you start to make the playoffs, if you can continue to do things like that. And like we said, in between Seattle, they had a true expansion first year. If they approach the second year and they don't make those drastic changes like Vegas did, and maybe their curse was going all in for the Stanley Cup. When you make the Stanley Cup in the first year, you kind of have to, so I understand why Bill Foley would have to do that. But if Seattle can stay the course and continue to improve, this could be a team that could be good for the next several years. So Tyson Yost has his pass blocked. Casey Middlestat had it blocked by Will Borgen. And now Dahlin will get this across. Owen Power, nice move in between the circles, shoots the wrister off the stick of Philipp Grubauer. Halfway home now. 10 minutes left to go in the third. It's a 4-2 lead for Seattle as this one gets dumped down the ice. Icing against the Kraken. They cannot change. 9:52 left to go in this third frame. So what's upcoming for Seattle? Let me see if I can go ahead and pull that up for you as far as the box. I know we'll do that in the story side, but I can click on this ESPN box when we get a little break. So the next upcoming, I'll flip this down. This will be the Boston Bruins on Thursday, the best team in the entire league as they continue their road trip and close it out with the Chicago Blackhawks. We get a commercial timeout and pay some bills, 9:47 left. So we'll be Boston and then Chicago. So here's the deal. I'm not saying that Seattle can't win 7 straight games on their 7-game road trip, which is the longest in their franchise history, but they're only in their second year. Tickets are going for $144. That's what it starts at for what Boston, that's what it's saying on the ESPN side. They go 6-1. That's a realistic possibility on this road stand. Then you come back at home, you play Tampa, you go back on the road to play Edmonton, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at home with New Jersey, Colorado, Vancouver, Calgary, Columbus. It's a tough stretch right now for the Kraken, and they are doing some of this right now because after getting spanked by the Edmonton Oilers, where they gave up about, they lost 7-2, they came back, won 5-2, they beat Toronto 5-1. They're beating good teams. And Buffalo, I would consider at this point, I mean, out of 10, is a good team. And Seattle is too. So for those that are looking off the outskirts and say, you know, I don't know, maybe about these two teams, you should, because there's some good players on here and some good systems. I think both of them are doing well. So we'll see tomorrow how I'm feeling, if it's going to be the college assignment of Bama and Arkansas for NCAA basketball. Not feeling that great. I think I'll take the off day and go for Thursday for the cold so I can get that done. I could miss today. I'm feeling decent today. A little bit elliptical and all that stuff helps a lot. Exercise, vitamins, and things. I might go get a bite to eat after this game's done, and then we'll write the story and get everything else all done. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Since I was just getting out of COVID and I think all the other stuff is done, I think all that'll be gone. So it'll just be a cold from the fiance, but I couldn't get away from it. I haven't seen her in a while. So now Dunn will get this one across as we're back into the play-by-play. 9:30 left to go in this third. So it's a race for the puck. And this is one by Gergensons. Gergensons will play this across the right side wall. As he's stuck by Turbo now, trying to get this puck out. It's going to be offside. Nowhere for the Sabres to go. 9:24 left in the third. 25 shots to 21 in favor of the Sabres. Again, a couple of their goals, but first and the second, nothing in the third. It's been all Seattle, and that's what you want to do. So the next game for the Pacific side will be 3:30. It's 6:30 Eastern when Seattle plays the Bruins. That's when their coverage starts. Maybe it's 7 o'clock puck drop Eastern side. 19-0-3 at home are the Boston Bruins. And Seattle is an exceptional road team, so hopefully that game is going to be everything you could ask for. Grubauer's shot. Grubauer's save, I should say, from Owen Power's shot. That one goes into the left side of the meshing. And we get a stoppage with 9:13 from the third. So Seattle Kraken now have 4 more goals in 6 consecutive games, which is a franchise record. So that's another one I have to get courtesy of Allison. I think he was covering that is on the post-game side for Root Sports. So a couple of those ones I'll have to put in the story. So thank you to Allison for that. Because again, I understand it's a just beginning newborn history type where the egg is just about being hatched. But this is newfound territory. And again, the NHL, I would say between Gary Bettman, between Vegas and Seattle, want to put, although Seattle didn't scrap themselves with cap, getting Carey Price or getting Vladimir Tarasenko. They went the complete rebuild route. But the NHL is trying to do the best they can with these arenas, these jerseys, these players, these teams to make them immediately relevant. And they've done so, and it's been good for these fans. And I've been to T-Mobile Arena when the Red Wings won, when they still had Anthony Mantha there just before COVID during the March Madness side. And it's a beautiful arena. I've not been to Climate Pledge, but if I ever do see Cooper Hopkins in his home state, I think we will go watch a Kraken game if we don't already go to the Settle Dome to watch the Flames. Because I'd like to catch and watch a hockey game with him. So pick up now. Owen Power is going to leave it. As the defensive pairing is going to change here for Dan Granato's squad. Picked up now toward the right side. Rasmus Asplund had it knocked away from him. Carson Soucy going to give chase toward the right side of the red line as this one gets dumped in. And now picked up. Benny Hinestroza lost it. And now Tolvanen. Eli Tolvanen is going to race toward the middle of the slot. The pass can get to him. It can't. Good block. But one of the Sabres runs into Eric Comrie, but he had to. He had to block that 2-1-0 pass. There's a shot for Borgen. This one gets tipped out of the air high. Tolvanen couldn't lift it correctly. And now Tolvanen gets us across with his pass in between the circles as they'll try to keep it across the right side red line. Coming together is Oliver Bjorkstrand as he cancels off one of the swordsmen off the puck, the Buffalo Sabres. Again with the blue jerseys and the gold piping and the 2 swords in the middle. Those are sweet jerseys. So Soucy going to leave this one across. Off of the L2 backskate is Jamie Alexiak. Nice setup for Burakovsky who can walk right in. And his shot gets stopped by Comrie and brushed out of play. Great setup there by Jamie Alexiak. He was just before the red zone neutral line. He set up Burakovsky breaking right down the middle. Good work there by Dylan Cozens. He was the one that went all the way back to break up that pass to not make it a 5-2 game for Seattle. What's going on, Sean? How are you doing on the Twitter Spaces side? We got about 7 minutes before I close up my broadcast and close up shop for the night. It's a 4-2 lead for the Seattle Kraken, as it's 2 teams that I have not covered so far this season between Seattle and Buffalo. Gergensen set up one-timer. Great get over by Grubauer as he denied the Sabres of a goal-scoring opportunity. It was a 3-on-1. Tyson Yost was the beneficiary of that pass on the end. And Philipp Grubauer made his best save. He was just waiting in between the circles for a one-timer, and Philipp Grubauer came all the way over to the left side of the line, met him all the way, and the shot went right in the breadbasket as he held on. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw here for the Buffalo Sabres. They need 2 goals. They got 7:10 to do it. John out here with you at the KeyBank Center. We're watching this feed on ESPN Plus. I have the Root Sports Seattle broadcast because John Forsland's just that good, former Kraken broadcaster, as this one gets blocked. Alex Wemberg going to pay the price as that one hit toward the right of the skate. Not a lot of padding there. Buffalo, and a pass gets taken away by Jaden Shorts nicely. Vince Dunn just play this toward the right side of the boards. And now Owen Power, University of Michigan man, alongside Matty Beniers on the opposite side. You get a chance to look at them for the first time. As this one gets picked in across the blue line, but it's an offside entry. 6:43 left to go in this third. Buffalo's been offsides now about 5 times over the last, say, about 4.5 minutes. Seattle 18-1 when allowing 2 goals or fewer. And again, that's not a stat you really throw out there as far as a second-year franchise. They're doing a lot of things to get themselves into a playoff forecasting. And going 5-0 on the road during this 7-game road stand, and I can say a lot of it too. They've been one of the best road teams in the NHL. Defensive zone faceoff. This gets picked up by Dunn, and now Eli Tolvanen, third line side there for Dave Hakstol's squad. We'll get it in. Tolvanen, this bounces off. In behind the netting, Eric Comrie is going to look toward the right side of the post as Seattle just trying to kill time right now, and the fans are starting to leave the KeyBank Center a little bit. They're knowing what Seattle is starting to do. They're taking the jaws of life. Tage Thompson live off the inboards, and Alexiak has a meeting within toward the players' bench as they come together. Tolvanen back in his own end now, the forward, trying to pry this loose. Kyle Okposo, the captain, will get it now to Casey Middlestat. He's got this now near the right side wall. Tripping penalty against the Kraken. That is their 5th penalty of this game. 5:45 left to go in third. And dare I say it, I know it's too early. This could be an opportunity for the Sabres if they really wanted to roll the dice. Take a 6-on-4 here if they pull the goalie. They got an offensive zone draw upcoming as Susan and Gordon's going to go to the box. Sabres will go to the power play for the 5th time when we come back.
32 players are in, and this time it's up to you to choose the rest of the roster with the 2023 NHL All-Star Fan Vote presented by Guaranteed Rate. Vote today on the NHL app or NHL.com/vote.
Just between us, you know what's better than laundry? Anything. At the end of a long day, it's the last thing I want to. Well, I switched to Swiffer Wet Jet, and it's awesome.
So I really appreciate you guys. It's been pretty lively here on the YouTube side. You guys have been sticking around there for the most part listening to it, so I really appreciate that. You got Sean on the Twitter Spaces side. Take a look around the league again. We'll do this, so let me refresh. So it is 9:56 left to go in the third. The Red Wings have a 6-4 lead over the Jets. And like I said, it figures that one time I don't cover them against a good team, they get a win. I've yet to see my own team win against a good team when I've done a broadcast, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Devils got a 4-3 lead over the Hurricanes. 8:52 left in third. Wild have a 3-2 lead over the Rangers. The Canucks have come back. They had a 3-0 lead. The Penguins took a 5-3 lead, and now the Canucks have scored the latest goal. It's a 5-4 lead for the Penguins still with 5:30 left. The Lightning all over the Blue Jackets 6-2. Islanders and Stars tied at 1. Cooper Hopkins will be happy. His team is up 3-1 on the St. Louis Blues. Flames will get to stay in St. Louis because they have to play the Blues again on a home for St. Louis at Enterprise. So Flames will get to spend more time in St. Louis and play again on Thursday. They got a 3-1 lead right now. It's 1-1 against the Sharks and Coyotes in the Connor Bedard Bowl. And the last game on ESPN on Hulu at 9:30 Eastern, going to start about 10 minutes from now, will be the Panthers and the Avalanche. That'll be my late night watch when I get this story typed up after eating a bite to eat. A little bit of a cold here now, especially for COVID, but that's what you get with the fiance, so trying to get through it. So power play here as we're back underneath it. This is going to get touched by Grubauer and held. This got tipped off of a one-timer, but this goes right into the breadbasket of Grubauer. He's going to hold. So $1:53 left to go on Buffalo's power play. This is the 5th time they've had one, and they've got to convert. They're 1 for 5 right now if it is killed. So Wenberg for Seattle, going to try to take the draw. Can't win it. This goes to Rasmus Dahlin. He scored on this before after a couple extra drags. Dylan Cozens. And now Jeff Skinner toward the right side dot. Skinner will hold. He's patient. He's going to survey here. Cross pass for Thompson, and he whistled it wide. And that could have made a dent in the inboards. Again, he throws about 104. He's got the fastest shot in the league. Skinner, right side wall again. Dahlin, taking his time, gives it back to Skinner at the right circle. Dahlin. Thompson wants the one-timer. Instead, Dahlin will take it off the wrist. This goes off the right pad of Grubauer. Thompson taken down hard there by Turbo with the big-time hit. But it's still alive. Cozens tried to shoot it. Set up here for Tuch. Thompson settles it down. Crisscross. Dahlin with Thompson. Dahlin holding now. And a long outstretched pass. It's Cozens. Instead of a shot, it goes back to Skinner. That could have been Tuch to shoot. But Skinner's got it now. Picked up now Cozens. Skinner at the right circle. Now Thompson again. And that one goes lively off the inboards. And it can't be held in. 4:25 left to go in this third. A couple bullets there by Tage Thompson, and honestly, that looked faster than any fastball Jacob deGrom can throw at 102, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Could barely see those, but they never hit the net. 4:10 left to go in this third. 25 seconds left to go in the Buffalo power play. They don't want to go 1 for 5. They need one now. Victor Olofsson up the shoulder of Grubauer. In the corner as it goes, and McCann will get this one out. Matty Beniers holds. He's going to get this one all the way down. He makes the smart play just as it was killed. Comrie will go ahead and play this pass. Buffalo needs something here. They got 5 seconds left to go on their power play. As this gets knocked out, Owen Power will pick it up. So it's Owen Power, Matty Beniers, the two Michigan guys over the last couple seasons battling 1 and 2 in this matchup. And the opposite conference matchup in Buffalo right now, they need 2 goals. They only got 3:41 left to do it. You get a nice look at the video feed. It was a good hit toward the right side of the wall. Tanev just met Tage Thompson. Takes a lot to knock down a 6'6", 230, I believe, is what Tage Thompson is. He's a forward. He's not a D-man. That tells you the incredible size, skill, and speed Tage Thompson can have. He's got 26 goals, I believe, as well. Very, very good. Young-looking player. 25 years old is Tage Thompson. Carson Soucy. Get this across the blue line now for Jaden Schwartz. And this gets turned over. Yoki Haru will play it. Just to try to get an entry here. And Buffalo outside again. The 7th time in this third period. 3:26 left to go in the final frame. Seattle looking good right now. They have just 21 shots in the shot board. It doesn't matter, though. They got 4 goals. Buffalo got 30. They only have 2 goals, though. Philipp Grubauer has been pretty good. This has probably been one of his better games. You said he's a guy going in as a 370 goals against. He's made 20 out of 30 saves. Eric Comrie making his first start about 17 games coming off the injury. They set down Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen because they're able to do that on the AHL side. He's in a 2-way deal, so you can send him down and have him wave one of the forwards or D-man. They're going to give Comrie some burn because the coaches on that side for Dan Granato think they got a good 3-man goalie rotation. So Matty Beniers gets knocked down. He's going to keep this alive and still knock it down nicely. This is not ice. This is across the red line. Comrie had his hands in the air, but he didn't know. So this gets picked up now by Buffalo. 2:50 left to go in this game. It looks like Seattle could go 5-0 so far. They still got 2 more games on this road stand. They're trying to go perfect 5-0 right now in their longest road stretch, of their young existence here, just in their 2nd season for the Seattle Kraken. So Buffalo trying to keep this alive during the right side wall as this continues to be spun around the horn. Jordan Eberle will get a backhand pass, but Tuch will steal. Set up for Skinner. Yoki Haru. Skinner, one-timer off the left side of the wall. And Tuch tipped it wide. Adam Larson trying to find it now. Larson as Comrie goes to the bench. So Buffalo has pulled the goalie. They can do so. 2:05 left to go in the third, but 1 more goal. That's it. They need 2, though, does Buffalo. Can't give up anything here. Picked up now by Seattle. And now Alexiak will just flip it. Nothing too urgent here. Yoki Haru will get this one down. Another entry there is Cozens. Casey Middlestat for Buffalo trying to get to it. Middlestat as this gets bounced away from Jaden Schwartz. Cozens still trying to get to it, but Buffalo can't hold that blue line. And now we're down to 1:35. Owen Power going to take his time now. Try to find the entry as Buffalo. They don't have a lot of time to do it, just about 90 seconds. This goes off the stick of Philipp Grubauer now with Tyson Jost. Jost will get this to his defense. Take his time. Toward the line is Middlestat. He's going to shoot in between the right circles as that got canceled off. And now Owen Power will get this one to Kel Clegg. And was this offsides? I didn't see it myself. Heavy booing going on at KeyBank Center. Guys, I apologize. I don't know what to say on that one. And that might have been played with a hand pass that I didn't catch because I didn't see offsides on that point. So when we come back, We're still in the middle of the action, but when I come back, probably another couple hours here, the game story will be done at hopefulsportsguide.wordpress.com after a bite to eat. So I will follow alongside the broadcast or the recorder side. So anything you have on the YouTube side with the extracurricular, that won't be there. It'll just be the complete broadcast. So it is an empty net still for the Buffalo Sabres. They have $1.16 left to work with. As you see, some interesting mix of jerseys in there between the Buffalo Heads, the Swords, and the reverse retros for Seattle. Although I don't know how you can have a reverse retro when you're only in your second year of the season. But there it is, I guess. So Dave Hakstol taking a look. So is Don Granato. It's a timeout here for the Sabres. They're going to go ahead and make sure they keep their first line out there right now. That's what they need to do. And you would think with Rasmus Dahlin, Tage, Thompson, Alex Tuch, that's the main line right now. Those are the heavy lifting that Buffalo can do. So $1.16 left to go in this third. John and I with it in KeyBank Center. We're going to be finishing this game off shortly. Eric Comrie going to come back in the goal crease just in case face-off is lost and the puck gets cleared down. 32 shots to 22 shots in favor of the Sabres, but Seattle enjoying a 4-2 lead. Maybe it's the Beniers jersey, but again, I would say that it's one of those situations. Again, I'll say thank you to Cooper Hopkins once again. Hopefully he gets his check within a couple of days. It's already been sent out. Dylan Cozens and Matty Beniers on the draw. Cozens won it clean, and this goes across the Swords logo. Comrie goes back on the bench, and now we're about 40% full in this KeyBank Center right now as Buffalo trying to keep this alive. This is intercepted by Seattle and now picked up by the Sabres. They'll put it across the right side wall. Oh, Power with a chance off the forehand, and now cleared down the ice where this touches the stick of Alex Tuch. 45 seconds left to go in this third. Tuch going to try to find the entry. He'll get across the red line now. A couple more pushes here for Buffalo, but that's it and that's all. That's all they got time left. Cozens gets it knocked down nicely. Good setup. Power trying to break it up. And now Yanni Gord, he got smoked toward the right side boards. And there is going to be some pushing and shoving now. Tanev throwing some fists. Tuch throwing some fists. That was a late hit when the whistle had already drawn. 32 seconds left in the third. And now this might have subsided there, maybe momentarily. You don't want to give up those kind of hits right when the whistle was blown for an offside. And Tanev was one of those ones that he got smoked. And on the other side came the fists on the other end as they were delivered. That was pretty good there, as that was a little bit of a scrum. But you imagine you might have some of that with the game time winding down. Philipp Grubauer hasn't had much to do for the Seattle Kraken, but he's been good when he's needed to be. 32 seconds left to go in this third. Empty net situation still in effect for the Sabres. It's an offensive zone draw. So Dylan Cozens versus Alex Wenberg on the draw. Cozens for Buffalo. Buffalo needs this, and they cannot win it. That's Alex Wenberg. Jimmy Alexiak can't clear, though. Rasmus Dahlin, and this one goes wide to the left side wall. Trying to find Thompson. Set up here for Dahlin with a hammer. Another rebound, and Buffalo scores. They're not done yet. 21 seconds left to go in the third. They scored with the empty net pool, and they're within one. It's 4-3 now. Victor Olofsson might have got credit off of the carom off the inboards. And that's what you have to do. It was a face-off win by Seattle. Jamie Alexiak could not clear. And that allowed Victor Olofsson, maybe even Jeff Skinner. I need to take another look at this. No, Olofsson got the goal. Skinner was just waiting on the doorstep if the rebound came to him. So 20 seconds left in this third. It's a one-goal game now. 4-3. Hypertension time, says John Forsland. He's the play-by-play man for Seattle Kraken. I'm John Ott. I'm your play-by-play man for this last 21 seconds. Tuch going to go ahead and take the draw here for Buffalo. They got to get in and do this quickly. Excuse me, that's Cozens and Beniers. I thought it would be Tuch. They had Tuch at the center line, but he moved. So Matty Beniers, he is the lone all-star man. That's the jersey that I'm wearing now. For Seattle Kraken, it's Tage Thompson for the Buffalo Sabres. Beniers needs to win this draw here for Seattle. They've added about 0.5 seconds, 21.4 left on the clock. Beniers, tie up. Where's the puck? This one's picked up in the neutral zone. Buffalo trying to get a piece of it. It's down to 14 seconds offside entry. Might add some more time. Might get close to the 16-second marker. 35 shots to 22. It's gut check time here for the Buffalo Sabres. They got the goal that they needed with the empty net pool, but they need one more. 4-3 still the scoreline. Eric Comrie stays on the bench, although he's got the one skate on if he needs to get back into the goal crease, but this is all dependent. Matty Beniers will take this draw again. Cozens will do the same one more time, this time in the neutral zone. Beniers wins it clean. This gets dumped across the boards. This is an opportunity, but it went off the skate of Cozens. Larson tried to pin this toward the wall. And Seattle wins this game 4-3. They get another road win. And that goal that went down the ice is not going to count for Yanni Gourde as the time ran out. Dave Hakstol won't care. Seattle is 5-0 so far as perfect road stand. They got 2 more left. They got Boston coming up in a couple days. And that's going to be a big-time game at the TD Garden. So I'm signing out for the night. It's a big-time win for Seattle. They get a 4-3-1 over the Buffalo Sabres. Game story is going to follow. As always, guys, have a good one. Peace. Thank you guys for following along on the YouTube side. It was a 4-3 win for the Seattle Kraken. So I guess the jersey from my broadcast partner Cooper Hopkins and Matty Beniers. Again, his check is in the mail. You should be getting that any day now. That ended up being a good luck charm here. So it was Tuch from Eberle, made it a 1-1 game after 1. Rasmus, Dahlin, and Yanni Gourde 2 after 2. It was Matty Beniers and Justin Schultz making a 4-2 lead for Seattle before Alex Tuch finished it off in 1938 in the third to make it 4-3. It was gut check time, but Seattle found the way to win, and they go 5-0 on this 7-game road stand, the longest in franchise history. Game story will follow in a little bit. Peace, guys. I humbly appreciate it. We will talk to you either tomorrow or Thursday.
11 wins on the road last year. 14 already this year.